back to the Saturday Ironheart Merchant Company, episode 27, A Hot and Rocky Desert, part 4. We return once more to the same situation. This time, one less Rollerman, as Rollerman is going to be running off in the night to go cool off and relax, leaving a note of where he's going to go and digging around to see if he can find some gemstones. He'll be back by next session, explaining that he'll meet you lot wherever you end up. As though for last session, where we left off, we started up with the party expecting to set a city on fire, cause chaos, steal some slaves, get a cool item, and then hopefully leave with a little bit of extra XP tossed in there. Unfortunately, due to some rules that were out of the party's control, they would instead find themselves dealing with a very powerful caster, demon, Fradesian, Ijin. They were unsure, a giant ice devil that seemed to have no issue using her magic at the flick of a wrist. Though, thankfully, and due to Zilpip's obnoxiousness as he would join the party alongside Melvin, the party was spared as the evil demon creature decided to instead focus on the excited gnome and decided to instead banish him, wasting a good chunk of her magic to do so, to Abaddon, refusing to allow him to leave. Thankfully, with her satisfied, as Zilpip succeeded on the first, failed on the second, finding himself tossed away, the party would be spared, though not without a bit of a jostling, as she would return to her fight, continuing to fight the shield-bearing creature individual. The party was unsure, though Rollerman did figure out that seemed to be a skinnier grandpa. Wait, what is about the murder of our sister? Hold up. Sounds like a good show. Send me that later.
My wife's watching TV.
Hey, let me know what she's watching. Now I'm curious. That
sounds like an interesting show. Yo, tell me too.
But
Sounds like one of those primetime things.
As the party would turn, deciding to take their chances outside of the city and escape rather than dealing with this individual, they would grab a bundle of mithril-like wool, and that seemed to have something wiggling around inside of it. Oh, okay. And as the party would take this item, they would decide to take off, leaving and getting away from the city as it fell under a massive attack, the creature continuing her onslaught. To the party's dismay, as they would find themselves outside of it, now with a meeting with a group, I guess we could call it an oasis, as it was a watering hole with a couple of boulders. They would meet another party that has been going around causing their own bit of chaos. Having met them and buying a staff off of them. Unfortunately for Nar, they would find that the staff was one of the 9 alignment items, a set of 10 items that would later seem to cause them issues. But as Nar would buy this item off the party, learning little bits of information from them, Rollerman and Melvin would have a bit of a spat with the two. I guess not intentionally getting into it, but Rollerman escalating further as he would chase after Melvin, trying to cause him harm as Little Pip and Melvin would go after Nar, trying to take the staff off him. Though, as Nar would sprint off into the desert, only being chased by a now embodied little scarf with Zilpip's soul inside of it. The two would find themselves running off while Rollerman and Melvin had their discussion, we'll call it. As Rollerman would swing, he'd find himself threatened, feared, and in a situation of near death, as he saw it, as he met Melvin's master. Fearing for his life, and angry that James was doing nothing, he would spend the rest of his time chopping away at the giant boulders that used to give this oasis its protection from the harsh sandy deserts. Which, by the way, a little side note, as those rocks being cut up, the oasis will be gone by the time you wake this in the morning as we start session, as it is now covered with sand. But as we continue with what happened last session, Nar and Little Scarf or now Little Pip, as we referred to them, would find themselves in a bit of a discussion, trying to figure out a worthy inheritor for the staff that wasn't Nar. The two would try to meet with Zopip's personal vassal and stand-in in Greg's Maratom's territory. Unfortunately, learning the secrets and truth of what goes on in the lands when it comes to vassalhood. Though finding that the monster was unable to take the weapon from Nar, they digressed, returning to the party. James would find himself quite insulted as the night would go on by this new vassal brought on, though as the party did find themselves kind of coming together and returning to bed, a decision had been made that Nar would find either a successor or get rid of the staff one way or another as the day would go on. We come back, though, the next morning, you all having had your 8 hours of long rest, relaxing, resting, seeing the world for what it is. As you spent a heavy night of sleeping, kind of hearing the sounds of winds crashing against your wagons. Morning has come. The sand and wind seem to hit your tents a lot harder. There looks to be a good bit of sand that seems to build up on the sides of it due to the rocks being removed. What used to be probably almost a 3 to 4 foot deep watering pool is now nothing but sand as you look over, completely covered over. The rocks have slowly found themselves now completely covered as well, as Rolamund's note is found by you, James, kind of just laying on your chest. He is already gone.
I will go shift my spells around for the day, making sure to take Create Water instead of Guidance for a level 0 spell. That way, if we need it, we have it.
Okay.
We already have an item that creates water, though. We have two.
Well, yeah, we do have that too, but this is just in case.
Hey, James, do you have a knife?
No.
Or just a bladed weapon at all?
Lifts up my hammer axe with the axe end and goes, I got this.
I have this, and I hold up the punching dagger.
I mean...
as you hold up the punching dagger, I believe that's the one that's got the lyrium blade, right?
It's Zero Fangs of Mimicry.
Yeah, you see as the handle of the punching dagger is made of like platinum, like solid platinum that's very refinedly designed. It looks like it's been crafted by a master of just from the immediate appearance. The blade itself is made of solid lyrium. It does in its ornateness. There is no like design, so it looks to be just ornate in the meaning of how well it's crafted. I will say, with the blade glowing, it does seem to kind of react slightly, James, as you see Melvin pull this out. It starts to glow a little bit.
Put the lyrium dagger away.
Aren't punching daggers like incredibly thin, like rapier-like blades, because they're made to just pierce and...
Yep. Well, not rapier, but they're flatter because they're designed is basically to go in and pierce as much as they can when you pull out cleanly. But it is definitely a flimsy blade that if you bend too hard, you can crack it.
I would say it's not going to do what I like. I'm going to hold a hand out and see if James will hand me his axe hammer.
Yeah, here. I'll hand him my hammer axe.
And he will see me move my fingers to the very tip of the staff and start to cut off the tips of my fingers.
You might want to go for the wrist.
If I may ask, what's your alignment?
Lawful neutral.
As you go to cut your fingers off, you feel the staff release from your hand.
Oh. Well, that's easier. Oh, thank God.
As the axe as Nar lowers the axe back down, I imagine a little bit of sweat let go, not having to cut your fingers off.
I can actually use my weapon.
I'm glad you got that, as I'll take my axe back. We got some good materials here, and we can keep moving.
Yeah.
Although I didn't expect sands to encroach that quickly.
I'm gonna wrap the staff, and then I'm gonna put my equipment back on, along with my shield that looks like burned and ruined because it ripped all the magic out of it.
Mm-hmm. As you kind of begin to wrap it,
right?
Yeah, it was a buckler.
As you kind of begin to wrap it, you hear the cries come from inside the tent or inside the wagon as the sound of a baby kind of starts to screech out.
I'm gonna go get the
Get
child.
him some water, and I don't think we have any milk substitute right now.
Dude, we don't have anything to feed a baby.
Wait, I actually have an idea for this. James will hop in, get some water, and slightly boil it, and throw in some dried fruit from a ration, letting it rehydrate.
Okay.
If we mash this up, it'll at least be something. Just be careful of any seeds.
I can mash it and strain the seeds out. I mean, that's fine.
That's at least something I picked up from the family.
As you go ahead.
Real world experience, folks. You can do this. It's just
We're
not recommended.
Goddamn Hydra.
I don't want anything to do with your Hydra.
I will say the Hydra is still asleep in the wagon, snoring quite loudly. But as you go to feed the child, Narcad bringing him out, you do see he is almost twice the size of what he was the day before.
Oh god.
He looks now to have grown from almost about a foot long to now 2 feet long. And he seems to look up at you with bright eyes.
Guys, at the rate it's going, I could raise the child before we even get back.
You know, that I'm glad that he's gotten larger so that he'll be able to handle this, although he might prefer something else, I'm not sure.
Well, he'll either eat this or meat. I don't know that. What do you want me to roll for what to...
Can I roll something to figure out what the child eats?
Rakshasa baby diet, I guess? Like,
I'll take a knowledge nature or survival.
I'll be rolling survival, I guess.
Melvin just watching you lot try to fumble over a baby and trying to comprehend as it's bigger than he is.
13.
21.
21? Okay, and 13. As you kind of take a second to think, most often these creatures tend to be breastfed. Milk is a common amongst their diet until they're at least old enough to fend for themselves. Given the creature's grown overnight, but doesn't seem to be able to pull itself out of its own wrapping, nor barely able to do anything above just cry out, pretty sure that this creature needs to, is probably still on a milk diet.
Fucking. Well, is Little Pip willing to do a back and forth teleport so we can go turn the child in?
We don't have milk. Shit.
Little Scarf kind of looks over at you for a second as he kind of rubs his eyes and goes, "Why is there a child crying?"
Wolf did say yes. Oh, well then yes. Oh, maybe not. Though. We found a child. We do not have anything to feed that child.
Kind of looks at you and side eyes and goes, when did we pick up a child?
It was in the... I thought it might be you hiding inside a large spool of mithril wool.
You see it. There for a moment. There's a moment of just like sudden realization, and then you see that his cheeks kind of start to puff up for a moment as you hear him trying and barely succeeding to suppress a laugh.
So when we were leaving the town, I kind of just grabbed the entire thing and ran,
Hoping
to save you.
That's adorable.
But either way, we don't have a way to feed the child. Real
And
issue.
Zilpip was in your body until this morning.
I don't like that you lot want to summon him. You know that that deal me and him made is out of a kind respect here. I hope you're not looking just to use him for assistance, James.
No, he wouldn't tell us what the deal was, actually.
He did not, and honestly, I'm glad you're helping him, and for his benefit, it's nice, but the company he's brought around has been mildly annoying. If he gets out of there, he gets out of there.
Little Scarf kind of just looks at you and kind of just... That you see a bit of a glare for a moment.
I'm gesturing to the loud snoring coming from the cart.
Just kind of shrugs and looks back at
Is the
Nar.
wall?
Huh?
Yeah. No, he looks at me. Yeah.
Yeah, he looks over at you and goes, you want me to try and teleport us back to the city? I can see if I can use his magic, but I don't know how much of it I've been able to understand or process through.
It's up to you. Alternatives find a way to feed the child, but we don't exactly have milk.
He nods and goes, let me see if I can. And you see he begins to speak these strange words as he moves his hands about. And a teleportation circle starts to envelop around you, Anar, and Little Scarf. As it does, it seems to raise up slowly over the next 10 minutes, pushing, and as you can feel yourself kind of moving somewhere else. It almost feels like you're in two places at the same time, as your legs feel a breeze coming from one direction and your torso feels a breeze coming from another. It's not comfortable by any means, and it's very strange, but as 10 minutes go up, you find yourself standing back in front of Mana's Grove. Little Scarf just looks at you, kind of a little winded, sighs, and goes, okay, I can do that one more time, and I'll probably pass out.
I'm gonna offer an arm so you can climb up and rest while I walk.
He will climb up on your arm as you head into the city. While they head into the city, sorry, there's a car stop
take
off to
them
the side.
very long, so
James and Melvin, what do you want to do?
I guess I'll eat this app. I guess I'm gonna drink this fruit juice I've made.
Fruit.
And make sure everybody's ready to go and that the animals are okay. And let them know we'll have to wait for Nar to come back, but they should be back pretty shortly.
Okay. The second, I believe it is the second craftsman company kind of hearing this will nod along. As you do notice that as you look amongst them, there seems to be now only 15 members, including Pema herself, where there were 16. You notice one of the members seems to have just vanished almost completely.
I'm gonna bring that up to Pema.
As you kind of walk over to her, after kind of looking about, she looks over at you and goes, "Can
one of your people missing?"
She looks about and goes, "No, we've always had 15. Why?"
I remember there being 16 yesterday.
No, there's just 15 of us. Sure.
The Desert Sands are playing tricks, or there was someone following along, playing along. And regardless, we'll be moving out shortly.
Give me a sense motive.
1 second, so I can get down to the skill to know what I have as a bonus. I don't have any points in it. This is great.
Oh my god, man. No, you didn't do it right, by the way. You did one. You did one. You can't put a space.
I spaced it.
There you go.
There we go.
Alright, 21. As you kind of notice, her eyes are darting about a little bit. The slightness to, like, quicker responses and almost a forced calmness on her voice. Everything kind of seems to catch your attention. She's lying to you almost 100%. But why? As you kind of look about, you do notice there seems to be a bit of like fullness to them that looks a little bit almost unnatural if they were eating rations. As you kind of take a minute to put two and two together, something here smells like they just may have eaten one of their members.
Would I know the smell of eaten flesh?
I'm going to
Of
ask this out of
um,
character.
I
Given
would
where I
say
come from, is it known
one sec,
that
one sec, James.
Dragonkin? Okay.
Melvin, to answer your question, give me a knowledge nature.
Okay. It'll just be normal intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
13.
13. You would recognize the smell. It's not often that that the smell has come up in your experience, but having traveled with Gygax for a little bit, and his mentions of it over his time in dungeons and such, something kind of catches your attention, and as you kind of sniff at the air, kind of hearing some of this, it kind of catches your nose almost immediately that yeah, they definitely cooked someone last night.
I'm just gonna ask this straight up. Is it within their culture to do so as Dragonkin? Or kobolds?
Let me, I'll say give me a
Better them than me, I guess.
knowledge history, if you've got it.
That was just a thought that was not out loud.
Yeah, no, I got you.
17 for knowledge history.
As you think for a moment, you're unsure. The nation that they come from, it could be. You haven't heard anything. However, amongst Dragonkin in the Mavasi Empire, which would be the closest thing you'd have to reference at this point, it's not uncommon for adventurers to eat other members when starving to death. It's very uncommon to eat another dragonkin because, I mean, diseases alone, cooking the flesh of a dragon is dangerous. Dragonkin are still almost as poisonous as dragon flesh. Some believe even more so because they're concentrated in smaller bodies.
Given that I brought a field ration box with us, and I've been storing the extras, I'm just going to look at her and go, if you need more food next time, just let me know.
Oh, in character, because you weren't there, I gave them a field ration box. They have one.
Oh.
During the Grumpy session. If that affects what you're going to say.
No, that doesn't change it. Still, if they need more food.
She just kind of looks at you and kind of raises an eyebrow.
James doesn't look disappointed. He just looks like he knows the truth, and he's not going to comment any further on it.
She looks at you and goes, I think there's a misunderstanding here. We ate fine. I don't know what you mean by that. We have a ration box. She just kind of looks at you, one eyebrow raised, kind of quizzically.
All right, then.
She step away. Melvin, is there anything you want to do as you kind of see this?
After she walks away, I'll turn towards James and go, yeah, they definitely ate somebody last night.
I figured. We'll be probably keeping watch on our own, just to ensure none of us get eaten. I'd rather err on the side of caution.
Loud
Yeah, I don't
say
think
do
they
their
have
own-
much interest in eating me.
Whatever they do to their own members is of no consequence to me.
The loud snoring in the background continues from the multi-headed Hydra.
James has the thought of, I could just feed them the Hydra. For a briefest of moments. Then waves it away because he's Zilpip's squire and whatnot and can't do that.
As you two kind of settle in and start gathering your stuff, getting the mounted creatures ready, the sand wolf, I believe it was, as well as getting yourselves kind of set up for the morning, we'll jump back over to Nar and Little Scarf. Nar, as you are walking through the town of Mana's Grove, kind of heading in, the town is rather quiet for an area that was so loud, with people being boisterous, enjoying themselves. It's almost as if someone's passed away. The city is dead silent almost as you walk in. Some of the guards, seeing you from one of the tunnels to go into the Underdark, seems to kind of poke his head up. And very common looking tabaxi rakshasa, great with his gray fur and some black stripes to it. Covered in what looks to be wearing a blue plate. Kind of comes walking over to you as he notices you heading into town. Sword kind of on his hip at this point, and shield as he kind of seems to hoist it over onto his back. He looks at you and goes, excuse me, large fella. If you don't mind my asking, what are you doing in these areas?
Here to return a child. Here to, I don't know, maybe sell a staff. That's about it.
That's strange. How'd you get here? Because our entire area, basically, around us is under siege right now. I'm curious.
Teleport.
You were able to teleport in through. Interesting. Kind of looks at you and goes, how? There's a massive barrier around the city that's keeping all magic out.
We were only a couple days travel away. We teleported to come bring the child back.
Looks at you and he kind of looks back to where you came from. As you kind of follow his eyes, you see a glimmer of light of what looks to be some sort of big dome, like a shimmer that seems to be easily encompassing the entirety of the city, plus about half a mile out. And he kind of looks back at you and goes, honestly, your magic must be impressive, sir. Are you for hire by chance? I imagine our queen would love to bring you in.
Not my magic, my partner's here. As I pat the probably fairly
Exhausted.
Little Scarf is snoring and leaned up against the side of your head.
He supports me with casting. I'm the paladin that, do what a paladin does best.
And he goes, well, then if you can, I'd recommend you go see the Jar herself, but as a heads up, most of the civilians have kind of closed up for the next couple of days. With us being under siege right now, we're not looking to have civilians getting caught up in it. Be careful amongst your walking. Some of the other guards might stop you.
The siege by the gloom, or
no, the damn fiends got us. We think it's House Closing, but we're not sure because the emblem shows House Stone.
all right, I'll be careful. Appreciate it.
He kind of nods and goes, yeah. If you see anybody amongst the military ranks that don't have purple eyes, cut them down immediately. That's not one of ours.
Wait, he said if they don't have purple eyes?
Yep.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
What color eyes does this man have?
You're telling me I'm allowed to legally cut people down in this city, and it's for law? This is gonna be great.
Yeah, as you head into town, Little Scarf kind of seems to kind of stir and looks over at you and goes, do you want me to bring James and the others? I kind of heard what's going on. It might be best for us to get out of here if there is an army nearby.
Well, I mean, we can't really leave. Our airship is up at the other city.
That's true, assuming they got out of here before. Well, they probably haven't left if it's only been a few days. It shouldn't take them even half the time it takes us to get to the city.
I mean, if you want to go check if they're still here.
He nods and goes, I mean, we can check on our way out, as he kind of leans back over and closes his eyes and starts to quietly snore again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm off to where I have bright eyes. We're gonna see if I can turn the child in.
As you head in to the city, what are you looking for exactly?
Well, I'm going to the same, the palace where I met with
the castle itself. Okay.
The adopted. Yeah.
Alright, let me pull up my name. Yep, yes, the Meijing Clan Castle. As you head to the center of town, even the school on the side of it seems to be quiet. No lines seem to be even shown outside of the building or the gates itself. The city streets are empty, minus a few troops that seem to be kind of walking by. A few do stop you along the way, but as they seem to check you, they looking you up and down, they seem to all kind of understand and kind of catch on to what you're up to, seeing the child, and seemingly letting you pass without much of an issue. As you get further into town, though, you do notice the area where the Frost Giants had set up originally that you had bought the items from, the hot weather clothing, I believe it was. Or no, cold weather clothing, that's right, yeah. You do see two of them are hanging currently from what looks to be massive, trees that, tree-like logs that have been set up, almost, both looking to be completely dead and having been dead for at least a day.
Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah, as you continue to get closer towards the castle, the headquarters, you do see outside the gate, there are not only fresh skulls of a few, what look to be snowbeards, but you also notice some dragonkin and a few fiends amongst them. In total, you count 45 heads that seem to be kind of put on stakes, all amongst the front of the castle itself, or the tower itself. But as you come closer, the two guards, both wearing dark black plate that have bits of what looks to be lyrium kind of cracked into it, keeping their faces covered, thick helmets on them, both that look to be designed to almost appear as if giant, lion-like creatures. One of them steps forward, glaive in hand. The other, what looks to be a war pick at his hand, and a small buckler shield on the other. The one with the glaive kind of leans forward and stops you as you approach, and looks kind of speaks almost immediately without letting you even move, and goes, "State your business. The Mei Jing is saying no one at this time."
Are his eyes purple?
His face is covered completely by the helmet. The helmet itself looks being designed like a lion.
Mm. Can I undo the wrapping on the child?
Yeah.
Here to return someone I think you lost.
He looks down at it. He looks back up at you and goes, "Can't see a damn thing through these damn helmets." He lifts the the front helm up, and then looks at the kid and goes, "I thought that was a dog for all I knew for a moment there. That is definitely a child, and if I'm not... that is not the prince."
It is.
As he looks over at the other guard, who, you can see, there's no reaction in the face, of course, because his face is covered, but a sudden tenseness to the body of the other guard kind of catches your attention almost immediately, as the one kind of talking to you looks over at them.
Now that his helmet's up, are his eyes purple? Is he?
They are bright purple.
I'm gonna make sure I'm out of striking distance of the other guy.
He kind of looks at you as you take a step back, and goes, the one still holding the glaive with his helmet up looks over at you and goes, "I see you understand the situation. I appreciate you taking a step back. As far as the business goes, where did you find this princeling? I must, inquire, as it's not common for, him to escape, as you can imagine."
First DM. Can I get I can't see his face, but his whole body tensed. Can I sense the other guy?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I got concerns.
Yeah.
Did the other guy steal the child?
No, I think the other 26.
26. As you kind of take a second and think, it seems... you figure if this individual is either part of this, and feels guilty towards that, or he is the individual seems guilty because it could have been their watch to watch the princeling, and may have reported that nothing had happened. It's hard to tell, given the body language of the other, and the response, but as he's not killing him immediately, it doesn't seem like these other guards seems to recognize the potential that this could be a inside job.
Alright, I want to look at the other guard. Do you mind if the other one takes his helmet up to make sure his eyes, just for my own peace of mind? I was told to watch out for only trust people with purple eyes here.
He nods and kind of looks over at the other guard expectingly, and you see as he raises his helmet, his eyes are bright purple.
Okay. Yeah. I found the kid swaddled up in an illegal, I guess, cannibal town, a bit to the north. We were passing on our trade route.
The guard with the glaive kind of nods and goes, "Was it the one that's about few miles outside town, bright white clay. Looks like it's all run down. Has a big pit underneath it that people like to hang out in.
Wasn't run down. Was a bustling city.
He looks over at the other guard again, who looks very obviously nervous now. And kind of looks at you, kind of looks back at you, and goes to continue, and goes, and yeah, tell me more.
Yeah, as I'm keeping an eye on the other guard if he does anything. There was a powerful demon there that someone was fighting. There was a giant group of slaves that were being used as a food source under the city. They were making an illusion of a normal trading town. They had weird sounds of children, although we couldn't find any. It was very creepy.
And any names or anything you got? As he kind of looks at you for a second.
And some guy named Crump was there. Very powerful. Kind of.
You see the guard straightens up and goes, "Oh, the Crumps. Never mind. It's not our business. You are wanting to see the queen, Jia herself?
That's who I was told to go meet.
Give me a moment. Wait here, and please don't move." As he starts to turn and starts to walk, kind of head into the tower.
Look at the other one and say, "I know what you did."
No, I'm staring at him and going, "Why are you so tense?"
Do you actually say that?
Yes.
He kind of looks at you and goes, the Crumps have opened up a rebellion against the Meijing and have basically declared themselves an independent factor. We may have lost like 3 of the high nobility's kids to the Crump attack, and they may have us under siege right now.
Would you like to know where they were taking this child?
He kind of looks at you and nods up and down and goes, I mean, I kind of have to. I'll have to report it, yeah?
There was a letter that said the child was to be delivered to the Gloomlands.
Oh, that would mean that the Gloom would be able to basically ask for peace and force us into any situation. As you see him kind of look at you dead, like, as a moment of comprehension goes, that would put us in the worst situation where either the Jia has to give up her son and chose Heartless, or, oh no, I'm gonna lose my job.
Were you on
I'm always
watch?
hiring.
Were you on watch during?
Kind of like, he shakes his head no, and he goes, no, I was one of the men that was on patrol when the Crumps made a run for it. I may have been in charge of keeping them on house arrest.
Are you gonna need a new job?
He kind of looks at you and goes, well, there's a potential when the Jia finds out. As he says that, you hear as the window about 3 stories above you shatters and a heavy wooden desk goes flying out the window. That's about, you'd guess, maybe about 200 pounds as it collapses to the ground next to you, nor onto one of the skulls and splatters it. You see the guard kind of looks at you and goes, no, I think my job's done.
So you do or you don't want a new job to not be here?
He goes, I think I'm just gonna, as he kind of starts to take a step forward and goes, gonna find a nice inn to hide in, drown myself in, and then find a place to not get my head taken off of.
Good luck.
He nods as he starts to walk away, and then slowly starts jogging and into a full sprint, disappearing into the town. You hear the metal kind of clacking as he does, disappearing. A few moments go by as you're left outside, kind of alone. As down comes the guard once more, as the door comes cracking open. His helmet is off and is under his arm. His glaive is kind of set on his back. He's got what looks to be a massive bruise on his cheek, and just kind of looks up at you and goes, so, Jia, we'll see you now. I hope you enjoy having your teeth.
Are most of his injuries superficial, or does he actually look like properly injured?
He is, you can see a fleck of blood across his mouth, but give me a heal check to see if you can tell anymore.
Good.
That's a good question.
Yeah. We're okay at it. That's the most I can ask for. We're okay. 14. I rolled a 10.
14. Okay. Um, as you look at him up down, you'd gather he's probably on about a quarter of his health. He looks to be hiding most of his injuries. From what you can tell, a lot of it seems to be underneath the armor.
Well, as long as he's not currently dying.
Yeah. Good.
I guess I'll head in. We're gonna see how this goes.
As you head in, following up the stairs behind, he's a slight limp, a bit of a slow walk from him as you go up. You climb to the top of the tower, going over to the other group to see the Jha. You see Terra in all of her glory. Her white fur kind of glowing slightly, her eyes sharp, almost immediately eye-looking you up and down. You can feel every bit of you being examined as this woman in what looks to be a mix of dark and light and leather kind of seems to be patched together that she wears. A couple of daggers and a bandolier across her chest. You notice on her hips a belt full of wands that each seem to have a bit of a glow to them. Each having their own gemstone and having a different coloration to it. Her boots look to have little wings kind of almost glued onto them, immediately clocking that she is head to toe covered in magic items. As she looks at you, almost a simple blue ringlet of a crown she seems to be twirling in her finger as she kind of sits sideways on a heavy heavy iron throne that seems to have cracks of lyrium embedded into it. She seems to kind of be scanning you for any sense of information as you enter the room. The rest of the throne room looks to be quite plain as you look about for a moment, kind of taking a second to gather yourself. You see a couple of pillars on either side that have paintings of her family members, a clear area where a king or a king's consort could sit, or rather a queen's consort could sit, though currently empty. What looks to be a depiction of the royal family in what you count as Terra, what looks to be some sort of elven figure, and three other little ones that you recognize. One of them you're carrying in your hand.
Yep. I guess I'll start without speaking and I'll just hold out the letter I found with the child. I feel like that'll explain more than I could with words.
The guard kind of takes it and starts walking it over to her. She opens it and starts reading it. She just kind of looks up at you every once in a while and kind of continues reading it. She leans over and kind of seems to pull her leg down off the side of the throne and stands up, kind of coming down step by step towards you. She walks over to one of the marble pillars close to her throne that has one of their candles lit. You watch as she holds up the thing to the light and begins to read out loud. I, the Regan Uthgarum, solemnly agree that I will back anyone who goes against the Jha herself and stands to rule in her place. I do this with Regan Utham's declaration behind me, and fully recognize no power of the Jha herself. And as Tara kind of reads this out loud, she looks over at you, Nar, kind of scanning you every once in a while. As she finishes, she kind of puts the paper down on a table and looks over at you and goes, "And so, from my understanding, you're telling me that Regan Utham himself was trying to start a war with me over my kidnapped child, over a greedy merchant from a land where his clan's been disgraced."
Nar furrows his brows, because that's not what the letter said when he read it.
She kind of stops and goes, "Do you not know how to read hidden ink?"
All the letter said was the child will be delivered to the Gloomlands. I'm not exactly a scholar or anything, or a caster. I'm a paladin.
And she kind of takes a moment. You are telling the truth, so.
Yep.
She takes a moment and she kind of looks you up and down. She goes, "You work for a group known as the Ironheart Merchant Company, yes?"
I am currently affiliated with them as a lawyer, yes.
You understand that the leader of this merchant company is disgraced and believed to be a wanted fugitive of his own lands and of multiple other lands, correct?
I do not.
Well, his family was caught for treason against the crown and decided to stand with a evil, godlike monster that was wiped out during a civil war in the Snowbeard lands. His clan was a part of one of the main groups that actually did a heavy blow on the royalists, and thus are recognized as one of the major threats. Him, along with all of his clan and his mother's clan, have been recognized to be put to death or sold to slavery if need be. With that being said, it's interesting that he would suddenly find my son in a town of cannibals. Quite, what would be the word you'd use these days? Circumstantial?
If it helps, he is preparing after this to go to the Snowbeard lands to, I guess, talk out these issues.
What's funny to me, please explain this, and maybe I'm reading into this too much as you're his, you said lawyer, right? I don't know the term, I assume that means like lawman?
A scholar that studies laws and such to help out with those kinds of issues, yes.
Perfect, then maybe you can explain to me this. You're telling me he's innocent in this situation, which, fair enough, I understand, it's your requirement, but from my understanding, did he not meet with the brother of the king of the Snowbeards recently, as well as that was backed up by frost giants that came into my territory, not respecting any of the rights to come into my territory, just showing up, and then promises to support a coup in that land? And yes, I do have spies amongst your crew. It wasn't very hard to bribe one of them to tell me the information. But I must know, he even confirmed that he'd be helping with that in a new civil war. So everything to me says that he is not only guilty of stealing my young heir here and selling them out to the Crumps, but also it sounds as if you are coming here now to gain favor with me so I don't gut him and put his head on a pike, as well as the rest of his family.
I will begin, before I answer your question, to say I am not allowed to lie, or I will lose my abilities.
I recognize your god.
It is just easier to make that clear. Not many do know much about them.
That's understandable. Go on.
As far as I know, we were not part of any ploy. The Crumps, the one we met, decided a bit of mind control with people related to us was enough to force us to deliver a letter to another nation. And I bring the child with no thought of reward or anything. I have to follow the law. The child is not mine. The child did not belong to whoever took it. I came to return it.
You'd swear on your god that your merchant leader, this, she looks over at the guard who says James Frosthorn, is what the name that he gives, and she looks back at you and goes, James Frosthorn did not steal the prince and heir to the throne?
I swear on my god that as far as I am aware, and I was with him up to when the child was found, that he did not steal the child.
Fine, I won't kill you this day. I won't get to use my new guillotine. She sighs and kind of snaps her fingers. One of the maids seems to almost appear out of nowhere from the walls, walking through. What you realize now is an illusion as she comes over and kind of offers to take the kid kindly and seems to pull out a bottle of, or a glass jar of what looks to be thick milk almost immediately and kind of uncaps it for him.
Are their eyes purple?
Her eyes are purple.
Okay, I'll hand over the child.
As the maid kind of takes the child away back into a side passage, disappearing once more, Teresias kind of looks at you and goes, I don't like your merchant leader and how he does business. He brought a force into my land that was a threat and welcomes problems into his tent any chance he gets. But I have no reason to keep you or blame you for this situation. I will offer to get you across the siege lines for the time being and back to your merchant crew. I ask that you carry a message for me to your leader.
Okay. I can do that.
If James Frosthorn, or whatever name he decides to claim, does not settle his dispute soon in the Snowbeard lands, I will enforce the request of that monarch, and I will have his head put on a spike. I don't believe in selling nobles into slavery. I don't think that's fair. And I would not wish to see that upon him, as I don't think that would be fair to what he's done for me. So the kindness I offer him is that if he does not figure this out, he will at least know he will never live a day in slavery. Does that translate enough for you to be able to pass on?
I can pass that on.
I appreciate it. Your god is recognized in these lands, so I will not cause you any harm, nor any of your followers, but please do understand, you are not welcome in my territory any after this, and I would not seek any of your members or your flock to come to the Meijing capital. Go where you will outside of it, but do not return. And she kind of snuffs at that, raising her head, dismissing you.
Nar looks at the staff that he was gonna ask Terrasize about and just thinks this is probably a bad time and just decides to leave.
As you look at your staff, here, give me a moment because I did get a message on that just now.
My wrapped up staff. I was gonna so the original idea, if I wasn't threatened with death, was I was gonna be like, yeah, the only thing I want is you to tell me more about the staff, but I was like, it's probably not.
As you turn to leave, you hear her go. Her snap her fingers, and the guard next to you kind of puts his hand on your chest, not threateningly, but just trying to get you to not move.
I'm not dismissed. Okay. Okay.
The Jia looks at you as you turn back around and goes, "Your staff, what is it?"
I can tell you the little I know. Some kind of demon or similar sealed inside of it. I got it recently. Took over my mind for a little bit, so it's kind of wrapped up. Don't really know what to do with it. Was gonna go sell it somewhere else just to get it away from me.
You're trying to get rid of it. I'd be willing to take it off your hands for a decent price, but I want you to understand what that item is, and if you decide to take it with you, you will be hunted. You're probably what's the reason this has all happened.
Well, I only got the staff yesterday. Another party had the area beforehand.
But someone took that damn sword out of here, and that caused a fucking uprising amongst these fiends. They're looking for it, and I think I have it. If you're willing to leave that item, I'll take it off your hands. But as far as it goes, understand that is an item from an age before ours. Well, let me ask you something. How much of this world do you actually know?
Just the world in general. I've traveled every country, been to most cities, seen most of my youth.
She sighs and goes, "You're not going to understand. This is going to be much easier for this.
The future, let's see.
Come here." And she kind of stands up and starts to walk towards you, extending her hand, and she goes, I want you to think of your companions, all of them.
Right.
Picture them, the best of your ability. Now, you're not going to be allowed to tell anybody this, and I want you to swear this on your god that you will not speak of anything of what I'm about to do to anyone.
I swear on my god, the god of the law, that I will not speak what I am not allowed to speak within this chamber.
Good, otherwise I'd have to kill you for this. She begins to start speaking, and you watch as magic around starts to envelop. And as it does, you see suddenly as James, Melvin, you both find yourselves suddenly in the throne room of the Jia, standing next to the large Nar with the little scarf on his shoulder, who's still
immediately give a bow, and I will immediately give a bow as a noble greeting and stand there and shut up. I don't know why I was moved, but magic moved me.
The Jia looks at Melvin and goes, "Oh, you're the one Zebril has around, I see. Interesting. As she says Zebril to the rest of you, you hear a strange word as if she's speaking Toth script for a moment. Melvin, you recognize the term, but you also recognize she seems to cover the term in a different language for the others are noticing the spell. Zebril, you hear her almost do this as a courtesy casting in the background. She seems to whisper it under her breath as she speaks, almost speaking twice. She just looks
My benefactor says hello.
She nods and goes, "Yes, your benefactor is an interesting one. It's about the only thing that's going to keep you alive right now. Allow me to explain some things to you lot, and I figured it'd be easier if I had you. It seems that this is all of your members." She looks about.
All but one. Rollerman seems to be missing.
She looks at Nar, kind of goes, "I told you to think of your merchant leaders. Is this not the leaders you were talking?"
Rollerman is a bodyguard of the leader.
She nods and goes, "Makes sense. That's why. Seems that my spell doesn't seem to work when the person that I'm using to cast through it doesn't picture them. I do apologize, my dear merchant. If I may, allow me to properly introduce myself so you know your position here at this court. My name is Ja Terrasitis of the Meijing. Some call me the half-breed, but do that and I will kill you. No, I do not need some smart remark on it, so please don't try to." She looks about to the three of you. And she goes, "You are the Ironheart Merchant Company, and you were originally under the belief that you had kidnapped the heir to my throne, and the expected savior to our crown. Nar here states that otherwise and swears it on his god, which forces me to believe that it isn't your fault, and he even confirms that you aren't the ones that were involved with the Crumps." As she kind of looks at Nar, knowingly that Nar did not say that. And kind of looks to James to see if he responds.
This was my first time visiting your city. I knew of the Crumps, but I had never done dealings with them.
She nods. Go ahead, Nar. What were you going to say?
Fucking out of game. Everyone and their mother has read my mind recently. He's not surprised.
Right.
James is gonna be very honest and very straightforward, and as respectful
I
as
will
possible.
say,
He's dealing with the
No, you would have noticed, Ja. You would have noticed
Ja,
if she was trying to read your mind. Even if it was the most minor version of it, you would have felt something in your mind, like if she was trying to read it.
But the point stands. With everyone and their mother reading mine, I'm not surprised people know things I haven't said.
That's fair. She kind of looks at you and goes, as she hears this though, James, and nods and goes, "Well, the only thing that's benefiting you at this point is the fact that, one," she looks over at Melvin and goes, "What is your name?"
I'm Melvin.
That's the weirdest name for a snowbeard I've ever heard, but okay. If it wasn't for Melvin here, I would have probably taken your life the moment you entered into my territory. You made a dealing, whether to your understanding or not, with a foreign ruler who's threatening my domain. I don't appreciate
will
that."
Confused.
Can I just lean in close to James and say how you worded it to the other, the guy you talked to? You made it sound like you're going to fold back in any way for the throne, which looks really bad.
The guard nods along to this as he's just standing there still with a big bruise in his jaw.
That wasn't my full intention, but I guess it came out like that. I gotta be more careful with my words.
And it's interesting.
I've told you that before.
She kind of smiles at hearing that from Melvin. She continues. She goes, "It's interesting because with this Regan Uthgarum, as he's calling himself, Regan Utham swears that if I threaten the dwarves, he'll step in. And he showed his force by bringing his own frost giants amongst their ranks. Now, my ally may be about as strong-willed and strong-backed as a flump when it comes to his portals. But I do hope you understand that these kind of threats cannot be tolerated. I want to understand, James, where does your allegiance stand with the current Regan of the Snowbeards, Uthgarum Venkos?
In reality, I don't agree with him.
Enough to
If I may speak
Side against
Openly?
him?
If I may speak openly, yes.
She nods.
My entire family was put to death over one man's testimony.
She nods. And what would you do to change that fate?
At this moment, I had been looking at the options all around to see what I could do. I said what would get his brother to leave in as most peace as possible for me and my ship and my crew. I apologize if I caused you any trouble. That was not my intent.
Your intent doesn't matter here in this case, as the benefactor here of Melvin would probably state the same. What happened is what happened. Your actions have caused me a headache of paperwork and now a potential civil war. Now, well, the benefactor of your group, or just your friend, I don't ask him for assistance as she kind of looks at Melvin for a second, locking eyes with him and then turns back over to James. We find ourselves in an interesting opportunity, and I think we can both come out of this with a benefit. How about
Alright.
I offer you this? You don't seem the type that's cordial enough to put on a throne, and no offense, I don't like your company too much. You're not bright, you're unskilled, and you're inexperienced for a merchant, which would make you a terrible king. That being said,
James will not disagree. James will nod in agreement.
you have a cousin I would like to put in control of the throne. They've piqued my interest. If
Are
you'll-
you referring to Iter?
His name and his position do not matter to you in our negotiations here. I will offer you a 20% gold reward or gold deal on all business dealings amongst my territory and any of my allies as well as vassals. In exchange, I wish for you to do me a favor and gather me a list of names and information. Signatures, agreements, pacts. I'm not asking you to be a hero by any means. I'm asking you to do what a merchant does best. I want you to gather me deals. In exchange for this, not only will you get my dealing on that for the 20%, but you'll be allowed to leave here with your head on your shoulders. While I can't kill your large friend here, as he is protected by a god that is recognized amongst my lands as a lawgiver, regardless, the rest of you, well, are pretty much of no value to me, and while I'm not worried about your, as she looks again at Melvin, benefactor, I think he will understand my position and understand why I would have to do this. Enough to respect my positioning here. Thus, I ask here and now, you either take my deal, James Frosthorn, gather me these
At
names.
the name Frosthorn, James is gonna wince visibly. I've never used that name.
I don't care. You will gather these names, and you will do as I ask. And you will take this deal, or you will lose your head. I hope you understand.
I have no problem with the deal.
It's nothing out of disrespect. This is now a situation that you put yourself in. We must do something. So, and she kind of puts out the agreement out in paperwork as she starts filling this out. You will gather me 3 names that I want amongst the outside territories and the 4 names within the internal territories. You gain agreements with them, I don't care how. It can be blackmail, it could be through legal agreements, it could be through the most heinous acts. Just don't associate my name with it or my clan's. Do this, and you'll be set free, and you'll have your money. Your family will be fully recognized amongst my territory and never be harmed or put in harm's way. I will also free any slaves of your family currently in my territory at the completion of this. As she kind of looks
James
at
will
you.
nod.
As you nod, as she hands you the quill, she looks at you and goes, "Sign this, and it'll be binding to both of us. your life in exchange for it.
Looking over it, there's definitely not going to be any hidden factors here, is there?
You watched her write it right in front of you. You can give me an
Yeah,
appraise
so-
check to see, but yeah.
I'm just going to read over it to ensure that I, as James, would understand the terms.
As you read
But I will be signing it regardless.
It does state, your head and the head of your entire crew, meaning all those recognized under the Ironheart Merchant Company brand, are forfeit if you do not provide deals guaranteeing a service and backing of Eider Frosthorn when he goes to take the crown at the backing of Ja Terrasitis.
Which territory is it? Exactly.
She notes, and let me pull up as this is going to take a second.
That's a 6 for appraise. Jesus.
Luckily, she's actually not hiding anything here.
Yeah, well, technically I'd get a small bonus to this due to because this has something to do with gold, so I do get a little bonus from my gauntlets.
So I'm gonna write it out for you to make it easy. And I'm gonna separate them by territory for your own notes. So I said four outside, or 3, yeah. 4 outside, and yeah, 4 outside. Here we go.
So that would have actually been a nice 11.
And then inside, let me just pull up these names real quick. I love the rule number 1, never cut off royalty, thank you.
It's a pretty basic rule when talking to royalty.
Melvin's sitting over here like, it's a shame James doesn't have a lawyer to read over this contract.
Who's like, yeah, I was gonna say, Nar, imagine visually shaking in the background as he watches James just going over it by himself.
Oh, Nar hates all of this. This whole situation.
That's why James is asking Nar to read it over.
And Nar is never going to let James finish this mission.
And
Then Nar will be unlawfully killing the entire crew.
Nope, fully lawfully, actually.
there you go.
'Tis not unlawful to, kill a few to save many more.
True.
There's one name on here I don't want to deal with.
She lists those out and looks at you and goes, one of these should be quite easy. As she looks over at Melvin, just gives a slight a smirk at him and then looks back over at the contract and goes, I imagine you're going to be traveling to the Tothlands at some point anyways, as they are under new management and much kinder these days.
I have met the leader before.
She kind of looks at you for a moment and grimaces and goes, well, wait till you meet Panzer Jaeger. He's a delight.
James will sign.
She nods.
As he signs,
Mhm.
James will say, after signing, James will say one thing. I can try to convince Eiter to go for it, but
Is that what it says in the contract? Does it say elect Eider and convince him to become king? Does it state James Frosthorn should go
No,
out
it does
there and then don't do anything besides what I tell you? If you fuck up my plans, understand I have no concern. Your friend Nar here understands how contracts work. Once you sign this, your head is mine regardless, and I will take it. This isn't a kindness to you. This isn't me trying to be favorable to you. I need a tool. You fit the best in this situation, young James. You are still too innocent to this world to be playing with these powers. She kind of starts to step away, waiting for you to sign, kind of going to sit back on her throne as she spins the circlet, or her circlet of Lyrium crown.
James will sign it.
As you do, she looks at you and smiles and goes, perfect. And she snaps her fingers, and an invisible hand seems to almost pick up the contract from the table and bring it over. As the ink dries, she looks at you and goes, "Your copy will be sent to you on your, and it should be available on your ship once you, I assume, return to your crew. By the way, your ship, I managed to snag it, over when it left or tried to leave. About a day's journeys from here. It was over some abandoned hills nearby. It's stuck it's parked near the why did I almost go underworld? There we go. Underdark routes. She kind of looks at you for a second, up and down, and goes, "I recommend you not dilly-dally here."
Then I will be on my way. Thank you.
As you go to open the door behind you, you watch as it seems to open up, and you see the desert that you were standing in, and your wagon on the still sitting out there waiting.
I'm gonna have to go back for my ship now.
She looks at you and goes, "Oh, and by the way, there's no such thing as a free ride in this world. So go back to your where you were."
Alright, thank you.
As
We'll step out to the wagon.
yeah, as I assume Melvin and Nar are following after.
Nar is storming out. Yeah.
Okay. Staff still in hand, on his back.
Yeah, visibly upset.
Melvin following behind, I assume. Alright, as you lot head back to your wagon, you're kind of left alone for a minute. Lil Pip seems to kind of come into, or kind of wakes up, kind of sitting there, and seems to head over and kind of sits down to talk with his vassal that is now awake, actively eating through a large bag of what looks to be dried meat that he's taken out. You'd guess probably almost a pound of food.
Looks like we will have to turn around and head back to the ship.
I'm conflicted now, right? Because this quest kind of goes against what I stand for as Nar.
It's not an unlawful rebellion.
It is, actually. It very much is.
Give me a knowledge nobility.
At least as far as I know, what I've learned of how technically everything the king has done was lawful so far, with the punishment. That's a 6.
You don't know much about either of James's clan, so you're not 100% sure what their standing would be in this situation. James, I mean, I was asking him for a knowledge nobility for a specific reason. Why are you rolling it?
I was rolling a knowledge nobility to see if this was essentially a lawful rebellion.
Well, as you gotta take a second to think about it, thinking back on your own family, the Frosthorns had to come from somewhere. You're not sure about the nobility, but if you can draw your family back to a high enough bloodline, you might have legal claim to the crown. It's going to take some research, but you figure there might be something in there. Your family's been around since the Snowbeards basically founded, so you figure there's somewhere in there that the history books that you've mixed with royal blood.
Realistically, there's a high chance this is entirely legal.
You're helping
Given
an
the fact that
or conquer a throne and back a rebellion. There's not much you're going to be able to argue to.
Am I? It sounds more like I'm trying to ensure that a king that has been slaughtering people unnecessarily
Lawfully.
gets his comeuppance.
And due to the wording of what I said in Terra Site, this does not really stop me from saying anything. Well, I have a job to do.
I will say, Melvin, you do hear in your ear, your benefactor does whisper that he is interested in buying the items. As I was told, he changed his mind.
I did find somebody interested in buying the item.
Which one? Because I'm looking to get that sword off of Rolman as soon as we can as well.
Both of them.
Yes.
Amazing. Now we just have to cut off his damn hand.
Can I do it? He's been kind of an asshole lately.
Maybe. But I have to first make sure I can make a hand that can replace it.
Yeah, PM you, Melvin. Real quick, so you know. Alright, there you go.
Also, that other thing I wish to talk to you about would be the bodies we have. Given I don't think we'll be able to turn in this quest.
As Nar. Well, Nar, you said you were gonna go. You were storming off in the background.
Yep.
Okay. Ping me what you're doing. Real quick. Sorry, James. I mean, if you're gonna offer something to Zebril or the benefactor of Melvin, go ahead.
Your benefactor, would he be interested in the bodies of multiple merchants and a few demons? Rakshasa merchants and demons?
Perhaps, I don't know.
Melvin just kind of look. Melvin, I mean, it's not like you can just turn it off and on and ask him, you know?
Well, if you find out, let me know. We'll try to turn in the demon bodies.
I do have the price offer for both items. Well,
Which is? Well, I can't really say much for the staff. That'd be entirely for him, but what's for the sword?
300,000 for both of them.
When you say for both of them, I'm guessing that means as a set?
Yes. And also not interested in the body.
Okay.
Okay, Nar. You're just gonna ditch your party? You know it's gonna take you a while.
No, it'll take a little over a day. Between the portals and everything.
Well...
We're only about 2 days walking from the capital.
Yeah, which is then another day.
And that was us walking at 30-foot walk speed.
Your wagon's 35.
Yeah, I run 50 and don't
That's the wagon.
I was like, I walk 50 and don't need to rest.
All right, if you're going to just abandon your crew, I'm just clarifying here.
I'll catch up with them within a day. Yeah.
More like they'll be the ones catching up with you in a sense.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go through and then I'll come back and meet them in the city. Yeah.
All right, James and Melvin, as you two are having this kind of conversation, saying this back and forth, you watch as Nar takes off, staff in hand, on his back, running a dead sprint heading south.
That's gonna be another problem for later, I guess.
Pema just comes out, looks over at you, James, and tilts her head as you and Melvin are sitting there kind of discussing this. Nar now gone, and goes, can I ask, what's going on? You guys left and then we've been just sitting here all day.
Apologies. It appears I'm going to have to go back to get my airship.
I mean... Well, what about our guards? I mean, you were guarding us. That was the whole point why we brought you along.
I know. Well, actually, we agreed to guard them so that we could get the quests done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we didn't agree to guard them. We said we would follow them to kill Abishai.
Yeah. We agreed to follow you to kill Abishai, and we helped you out in the town. If you're willing to wait here, I'm willing to come back and pick you up on the ship.
She just kind of looks at you and goes, and sighs, and he goes, no, if that's how it is, that's how it is. I guess we'll continue our pilgrimage alone. It was, she kind of puts a hand out and sighs, looks at you and kind of gives a light smile and goes, it was a pleasure doing business with you and Melvin.
It was nice to meet you and a pleasure doing business as well, as I'll shake their hand.
She nods. Melvin, I assume, still standing there waiting for James to say whether or not he's going to accept the deal and now figure out how to get that staff back.
As I said, I have no way to do it. That is Nar's staff. Nar spent the money on it.
Go ahead. Sorry, that's true. Melvin, what were you saying?
Oh, I said yes.
Yeah. She kind of shakes your hand, James, and kind of nods and goes, "Yeah, best of luck. We're gonna head out then, as we don't want to be out here."
That's perfectly understandable. Perhaps we will meet again on the road.
She shrugs and goes, "Maybe." As she turns and starts heading the wagon, continuing north. As you start getting it together, you do hear the sound of the snoring, a very loud snoring, as it's 12 different heads snoring inside. The vassal himself, who I forget the name of because I didn't look at it. But as he continues to snore away inside, you gather up your stuff, get in your cart together. Rolliman is nowhere still to be found.
He said he'll find us, and I trust him to find us.
Alright. As you start heading back, give me a handle animal, James.
As the
Mm-hmm.
the other group leaves, splits off from us,
Mm-hmm.
I'll be like, they're not gonna last very long if they keep eating each other.
Aye, that'll be their problem, though. I love having to roll a Christmas kill. Oh, 15.
As James looks completely nonchalant, Melvin, you're starting to think maybe snowbeards eat people. Maybe that's a normal culture thing for them.
James is gonna look at him and just go, I'm kind of desensitized to many things right now, given what we just went through.
Cute, but alright. As you start going for the 15, alright. You start heading, and the wolf seems to follow along, guiding you a lot. It will take you about 2 days to get back at the current pace. You may be able to manage to get 1, but as you start heading out, I'm gonna roll, you know what, Melvin, how about give me a D4 roll?
Alright. Three.
Okay. As you lot are passing, and on the as the sun kind of starts to set, the whole day having gone by quietly, the sands themselves kicking up, the dunes continuing to be endless, but as you can now almost see in the distance the mountain line starting to kind of come over the heavy sands that you're going through, you do start to notice James and Melvin as a figure seems to almost keep coming off to the east, coming over the dunes, and almost as if out of nowhere. You see a tall, tall to the two of you being snowbeards. She is 6 feet, roughly 6-ish feet tall, and even from here you can tell she's wearing a big, bright green dress that seems to bloom with little diamonds and gemstones kind of all across it. Her hair is kind of pushed up, and as you notice, she does look to be a Rakshasa.
Oh, great. More problems.
Do you stop?
Does she look like she's coming for us?
She is going your direction, and from this distance, give me a search check, both of you, for the investigation on it.
Investigation?
Well, search. Oh, that's what
Search.
investigation is.
Search.
Yeah.
Oh,
8, no.
8, okay. And hopefully Melvin. Oh, 13.
13.
As you two kind of both look around, seeing this woman come over the dunes and seeing nothing to catch your attention after or behind her, she seems to be kind of pulling up her dress and jogging towards you lot. Fear in her eyes, pretty clear. One of the first things you notice is that bits of the back of her dress look like they've either been bitten or charred. As you can see, obvious black marks and chunks torn out of it. As she is running in what looks like with a face of panic from this distance.
I will stop and usher her into the wagon
She is about a half
and whisper to Melvin.
about a mile-ish from you at this point, from what you can tell. So, and she's
I'll turn
rushing.
the wagon to go pick her up.
All right. As you start turning it, Melvin and James, as you see this, Melvin, you notice this first with your search check as the wagon starts to turn, looking over and kind of focusing on. you see what looks to be a massive, and I do mean like gargantuan, black dragon suddenly appear behind her with giant stone-like graves on its back, big, bright yellow eyes that seem to almost glow unnaturally, a green kind of swampy-looking like gas fog coming out of its mouth, and what looks to be bits of green moss kind of hanging down from its teeth and sides. This creature seems to be chasing and biting at this young woman as she is running for her life. As you see this dragon, like I said, being gargantuan, chasing after the massive, what looks to be figures on its back, cleared to look like almost square and blocks at first, and some look to be almost statues of individual figures. Are you continuing the wagon?
Do I recognize the dragon, given I came from Krek and dragon knowledge was kind of widespread?
You can give me a knowledge nature or arcana. I'll take either.
No.
Uh,
Knowledge arcana.
okay. Melvin, are you gonna roll on this? Or are you just gonna kind of watch and see what happens?
Yeah, I'll roll knowledge arcana.
Okay. Uh,
19.
Okay. James, as you look at this dragon, you're not familiar with this creature. You've never seen a dragon like this before. This could be a dragon of mythos or legend or some new species. You're sure it's not metallic, chromatic, or gemstone, but as far as what it is, you're unsure. Melvin, as you kind of take a minute looking at it, you hear almost the knowledge being whispered into your ear as you begin to think. Your mind almost links up with different bits of information you don't remember learning prior. You recognize this as a gloom dragon, and you'd also recognize this as probably somewhere around the old or full adult-ish age for a gloom dragon.
Would I know what a gloom dragon's food preference is?
Yes. You would. That one, as far as you would know, is that they like to eat the souls of the creatures they kill. Most oftenly, showing how well fed they are by the large the graves on their backs. The more prominent the grave, the more powerful the soul was when it before it died.
The gloom are mostly in the Frost Giant lands?
No, they are west of your current location on the same continent.
Oh, I see.
Mm-hmm.
We still rolling towards it, James?
No, we'll be turning. I don't recognize the dragon. I feel bad for the woman, but I can't do much. If she can catch up to us, I won't stop her from getting on. But we're going to be going pretty fast, as I'll get the Sand Wolf going as fast as we can.
It doesn't take much encouragement, as the creature seems to see the large dragon, and seems to start to try and pull to turn the other way. And as soon as you kind of let it, the creature starts at a dead sprint and starts running. Meanwhile, Nar, we're gonna jump over to you as James and Melvin start rushing out. Nar, as you and Little Pip are running at top speeds, as you get to the outskirts of Mana's Grove, kind of seeing the massive city, you see an army, almost probably 10,000 in thickness of troops, all mixture of what look to be fiends of different races, many looking to be succubi or incubi at first, or a mixture of the race, or the mixture of the lot with other fiendish-like creatures. But as you start to get closer, the army looks to have set up camp and has created a dome around the city of Mana's Grove.
Would I know where? Well, we came through it. Where is the portal leading to Greg's Land?
Far to the inside of the city, almost right next to the merchant guild, known as, I believe it's Dragon's Maw.
They built it in their city. Oh,
Yep.
odd. Okay.
Yeah, right next to the guild, Dragon's Maw. The merchant guild.
It's kind of annoying, not gonna lie.
As little
can't-
Pip goes, ooh.
Yeah, I can't really kill 10,000 people.
I will say, as you look about, give me you don't have a profession mercenary, I assume, right?
No, profession lawyer.
Yeah, so give me an appraise check to see if you can tell the value of these troops. I will say, good news is you can see your the Ironheart Merchant Company ship. It's on the inside of this dome. Bad news is, as you're watching, you do see demons like running into the dome and bouncing off of it.
I got a 19.
19. As you take a second, something catches your attention about this situation. Not only, well, hey, first off, a little common sense. Little Scarf was able to teleport you in here earlier and did say he was able to do it once more. To teleport you back out to the city, which you didn't have to use the magic, so just a little, heads up for that. But as you kind of look about the ranks of these troops, it seems almost as if these are... They look to be more scarred. You see much of their armor looks to be much more beaten up. As you kind of start to gather, this is the veteran army. This is not a small, invasion force. This looks to be the best troops of whatever force brought them here. You don't see any banners other than the House of Closen kind of tossed up, and a couple others that look to be some sort of Rakshasa-like sigil, though you don't recognize it. Yeah, as you take a look about, you're almost 100% sure this is not an army you want to take on.
Yeah, I'm kind of level 5. I guess I'll just go around to the ship.
I will say the ship's on the inside, of the bubble, so you're gonna have to figure out a way to get inside.
Get past the dome.
Also, as the entirety of the city looks to be surrounded, there's kind of troops everywhere. And you do stick out like a sore thumb, not only because you're taller than most of the troops, as you suddenly notice, but your coloration, being as it is green, kind of sticks out amongst many of these the folks around here. So, in both aspects, you're kind of like a walking billboard of doesn't belong.
Guess I'll go back to the cavern and wait. The pass.
Okay. As you start turning back to go catch up with the party, we'll jump back over to James and Melvin. James, or Melvin, whoever's driving the cart, give me a handle animal check. Let's see how fast you can get this running. Little Pip thinks that you can take them, but apparently... Oh, no. Alright, James definitely should not be the one driving the wagon, as I imagine at this point he is as he starts to lose control of the Sandwolf's reins, is going to hand over the reins to Melvin.
Well, there's something I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But I did want to... I had a question for Chaston, because he sent me this spell specifically.
Okay.
Would true casting work towards the roll for a save?
No.
No? Okay.
No, it's just for spell resistance. That's literally it.
Okay. So, I don't know that it's going to work, but I'm still going to try something. I would like to cast Minor Image.
Okay.
Off to the side of the person running, but still kind of eyesight of the dragon.
Okay. What? Right.
It is up to 400 feet. So,
okay, easily, yeah. Okay.
I would like to cast. Basically, it looked like an adventurer with some weapons on their back, and they are yelling out, challenging the dragon.
Any adventure you want this to be based off of, like your companion Dutes or something,
Base.
or
Me,
Goose?
Let's go. Let me make sure I'm not goofing up here.
I think minor image has to be something based on either yourself or someone you've seen. So you have to have seen the creature.
Well, I'm just making sure. So it can make minor sounds, but not understandable speech.
Mhm.
So it's not actually yelling. Yeah, it's just making like a war cry. Yeah, let's go with dudes, I suppose.
Okay. You watch James is off to the side of your eye as suddenly this bard that looks to be kitted out in bright gold items that are just flashing and gleaming in the sunlight seems to appear a few feet away from the woman that's running the the tabaxi woman that's running towards you lot. As the creature or the adventurer starts shouting out, this gray elf kind of screaming out at the dragon, the dragon turns and kind of almost comes to a complete stop and just stares for a moment as the woman continues running as fast as she can. Alright, anything else you want to do as the dragon seems almost perplexed by this thing standing there yelling at it now. It's just staring and looking at it with its head tilted.
That is gonna be it. I can move the image, so I will make it kind of look like it's running towards the dragon.
Okay. As it starts to run, I'm gonna roll something.
And then it does say saving throw will disbelief if interacted with. So it would have to interact with it to.
Yeah, let me gotta find my save for the creature to see if it can. Give me a moment. Submit, and then let's see. All right, there we go. It is. There we go. I'm just seeing if it has any bonuses. It does not get any automatic bonuses to this. Okay.
Oh, wow.
The creature just kind of looks down at the thing and seems to take a minute, and then there's a second of like quizzical thought process you can see in the dragon's mind as it starts to try and back away, thinking this like individual's actually got something as it starts to kind of move. And you watch as your minor illusion starts to chase the dragon back over the hill. The dragon just continuing to back up, kind of confused about what's happening, as it seems almost not used to being chased by people.
It is a concentration, so while I'm focusing on it, I'm trying to smack James to let him know, like, hey, slow down.
Yeah, give me a concentration check as you as James is rattling the ride, holding the wagon, the sand wolf kind of taking away and running as fast as it can. Let me check what is concentration maintains. Is it 10? On vigorous motion of taking a bouncing wagon ride, you do fail, so the spell suddenly dissipates as it chases the gloom dragon over the hill. The dragon seems to it stops, and as Melvin, as you feel the boats kind of causing you to bounce up in the air for a moment, coming down, you feel the spell dissipate as you suddenly kind of open your eyes once more, losing focus of it.
Oh, shit.
I'll start slowing down, though, because you smacked me.
As you start to slow down, suddenly the loud sound of a roar in the distance is heard. James and Melvin, as you both look back, it doesn't take much to see the dragon flapping its wings, and then stopping and continuing to run after the woman who has now got about a 60-foot lead on the dragon, which is running about 40 feet per turn. As the two are continuing to sprint towards you, they're still about roughly 400. Well, the dragon is about 400 feet away from you guys now. She is about 200.
Oh,
I
guess I'm gonna do it again. This time they're running from the side, like still visible, but.
All right.
He's coming in from different angles now.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm gonna roll this thing again. Let's see. The creature
Failed.
All right. As the thing comes or as the again Dutes, I assume.
Yeah.
As Jutes comes running almost over the hill out of nowhere, starts to yell at the creature. The dragon just kind of like stops, looks at it, and like starts to push to the side as if it actually thinks something's coming for it, and looks very confused as this creature just teleported from one place to another without being seen. The dragon kind of backed, moves away for a moment, and kind of continues to push away as you lot are slowed down. It is delayed for a turn, allowing the woman to run.
When she gets within 80 feet, I guess I'll population to give her an extra 5 feet of movement, base movement.
Give me a concentration check, Melvin, as the cart is slowed down now, making the DC a little easier to maintain.
Not 20 for 25.
And now you get a nat 20, nice.
Right.
Yeah, with ease, your mind stays focused, managing to keep control of the spell as you continue. The creature, the dragon kind of stands up finally, and I'm going to roll what's called its common sense to see if it understands. Stops. It just stares at the figure as it runs towards it and comes to a stop and continues to shout. And the dragon just kind of looks at the figure, continuing to wait as the woman continues her run. At full speed, she does make it within 80 feet this round.
Elation gets popped. It is not a concentration spell, so...
What does it do?
She has a +2 morale bonus to strength, dex, and movement speed is increased by all allies, and this goes to all allies within 80 feet.
Okay. As she manages to get within distance, she grabs hold of your wagon, shouts, "Just go! Just please, go! Move! Fast!"
As we'll speed back up a little bit, not getting to the full sprint, but getting away.
She will climb in. Give me a handle animal, and then Melvin, give me another concentration check. As if, depending on how James does, oh, thank God he rolled
16.
well this time.
13.
You maintain concentration, thankfully, as the ride is smoother. The dragon's still confused and seems to be patting at the sand underneath the image, and just kind of, as nothing happens, it just stares and looks like it's trying to figure out, looking at all the items on the creature. As it continues, the imagery continues to shout.
Like a cat studying a bug.
As the creature ends its turn, Lady pulls herself on and goes, "Oh my God. Nice to meet you. My name's Gressa. I was formerly a member of the House of Crump. Probably forgotten about now. Is this your wagon, or you bandits?"
James, Ironheart Merchant Company.
"Oh, thank the gods I found a merchant company I can pay you, I assume, to take me home."
Well, depends on where you want to go. We're heading back to the capital right now to retrieve our airship.
"We're going in the same direction." And she kind of tears a bit of her dress off to make it able to be moved at the knees, and kind of pushes off to the side next to one of your chests and goes, "That's fine silk from some of the Underdark spiders my family specializes in raising. It's worth about that amount, I don't know, 12,000 gold pieces. I think that should be enough to get me to the city. And for saving my life from what I can only describe as
Weren't we just told that they're currently under siege today?
Yeah, you even heard it from the Jia.
James will look back and go, "Well, the city is also under siege, so we'll have to see if we can even get inside." But
she nods and she goes, "Yeah, well, if I can get in, that'd be great. I'm gonna piece of advice: don't protect or make bet your life on some young adventures. I hired a Cyclops, one of them Deep Yang, and Pakab, a Genasi." She kind of looks at you and goes, "They're terrible for distractions."
we ran into them at an oasis that no longer exists.
She nods and goes, "Well, I think the Thankfully, the dragon seems to. She looks back out, kind of opening up the back flap of the wagon, and goes, "I think the dragon has turned tail and decided to go chase something more important." Oh, Jesus!
I just look at Melvin and give a kind nod.
Melvin,
That'd
you
be
notice.
my companions hear magic, most likely.
Melvin, your spell is still sitting there, but as you look back, the dragon just seems to have turned around and left.
That's a little concerning.
As your imagery is still there from your concentration, and it's still shouting.
James will look up into the air to see if it's flying after us.
Even without a search check, there's nothing in the clear skies. There's not even a cloud in the sky. It's the sun is bright. But yeah, no, everything is. You can breathe easy. I'd also give James as a little common sense. A dragon that is gargantuan, you'd hear the wings flapping.
Still being safe.
Yeah, no, I understand. I'm just
There
putting
are
a
ways
point
for
there.
large creatures to fly silently, aka levitate and whatnot, and most dragons are spellcasters.
Well, that's true, but from your
Well-
own knowledge of dragons, I will mention that because of the larger they get, or the older they get, the worse they are at flying. Typically, you're going to hear a lot more of the clumsiness of their body getting into the air, and a takeoff.
Levitate only lets you go up and down. Would not help with making them any quieter.
Yeah,
Or
like-
move any.
Like Melvin's featherfall.
Yep.
But yeah, as you lot continue on, now unimpeded, she kind of rests in and kind of looks at you lot and goes, "Do you mind if I just take a nap and relax? I haven't caught my breath in about 3-4 hours of being chased. I don't even know what happened to the crew that was with me."
You are welcome to.
She nods and kind of leans back and kind of pulls the torn bit of soap from her dress into a pillow and like puts her head on and immediately conks out. My apologies. Let me rephrase that before I get in trouble for that. There you go. But as you continue on, it's quiet and almost unnaturally peaceful. James and Melvin, no sounds, no birds, no nothing. The distant cloud of something obviously coming up the same route you are, but that's common for any merchant or any wagon that would be moving at a decent speed. As you lot continue on, heading in that direction. Alright. Nar and Little Pip, as we jump over to you. You find yourself finally kind of easily getting to the area you had been ambushed in, being the only real road and natural route that doesn't have like heavy sands that would cause a wagon to get caught. You're almost 100% sure, Nar, that your party will have to come this way regardless to get to the city and kind of catch up with you. As you kind of set up camp, or kind of set up around the area, seeing the fire pit above, you can still see where the armor, like the stakes where the armor was kind of put on across the way, still laying there, where you guys had kind of pulled everything off of and looked about. The camp, the area where battle was clearly done, the sand kicked up, is still clearly shows the visible lines of the fire pit, where the magic portal seemed to open up, then caused a burn in the sand naturally, and almost seems to have not been covered over. But it seems to have a bit of a natural water spring, as you notice, that's dug up amongst the rocks. Seems to be a decent enough place to camp out for right now.
I mean, works for me.
Okay. Give me a search check. And while you do that, we're going to take a quick moment while the DM takes a quick break. We're going to take a quick, let's say, 2-minute break for everyone. We will be back in a moment. Alright, we return once more. Apologies for the quick break, but we come back. Nar, with your 28 in search, as you and Little Pip kind of set up camp, digging in, getting a little bit of a fire pit going, just enough to cook up or warm up the rations, not enough to create a smoke trail into the sky, as it would be really easy to spot in this area. As you kind of set yourselves down, watching and looking about the many sand sets in the dunes, you see the distant city where once was a city. Now, as you look over, it looks to be a giant mound of rock and stone that seems to have spotted up like a mountain. Almost, as you can tell, guesstimating from this distance, to look to be roughly 70, 80 feet tall and probably just as wide that tore apart the town. You can still see bits of the clay and some of the houses that looked to have been, instead of being completely crumbled in, pushed out and seem to have kind of now sit at a weird angle. That would be no way livable, but, shows the factor of the town having once been there. But as you look about, though, nothing else catches your attention as you begin kind of watch, seeing the bit of sand in the distance coming from the north that clearly shows the signs of someone coming. Guesstimating it to be James and his crew. You're pretty sure they're not too far off, maybe half a day, maybe if that.
And what time of day is it right now?
Roughly for you, it's sun is setting. From what you can tell, it's getting darker and colder. You guess somewhere in the evening, maybe 5 to 8-ish.
Alright. Sometime soon I'll take my 2 hours sleep. That's a full night rest for me.
Alright. As James and Melvin, as you continue on, it is almost awkwardly quiet. The sands, the winds, nothing seems to make any noise. As everything kind of continues on, you do see in the distance, as the sun is starting to set, the very clear signs of where you lot had been when you got ambushed the other day. And first, it's kind of hard to tell, but it looks like the sticks, even in this instance, are still poking up where the fake ambush guards were in armor were kind of set out when you guys were attacked originally. As you are heading that direction, is there anything you two would like to do?
The Hydra's still asleep?
Yes.
Keeping my eye out for that fucking dragon.
Alright, give me a search check.
Right.
James is. Oh
Yikes.
no! This is not.
There's a lot of sand out here.
You see sand that kind of cut up for a moment. Looks like it's the dragon coming out of it, but then it dissipates. The sand breaks apart and nothing shows.
Every once in a while, I gasp and point.
As James, what do you want to do?
I'll try to focus on getting us where we're going right now.
Okay, give me a handle animal. Melvin, as you kind of keep pointing and looking, James just kind of dismisses you every once in a while, continuing to focus on keeping the wolf going forward and not allowing the sand to pick up and kick into his face as the creature continues to move about. But Melvin, you're almost 100% sure something... You see a big black object that seems to push out of the sand and then dive deep into the sand again and then dissipate. But as you point, James, you finally look over, there's nothing there. There's just more sand.
I'm telling you, it's right there.
Alright, I'll take a look as I'll roll a search, I guess.
Give me a search check.
Search ID was 2, yeah, that's it.
He searches here, he searches there, he searches everywhere, and still gets 6. As you look over, James, I mean, there's nothing there, it's just sand moving about, like the last few miles. As James sighs, continuing the wagon going forward, you lot continue for a few more hours before you finally reach the area of the ambush site. Having made camp here before, it doesn't take you long to hear and even catch the sight of Nar and Little Pip kind of poking their head over the ledge, looking down at you two as you come into the kind of area. Nar, you immediately feel a pull on the staff slightly.
Is it like a certain direction?
It does seem to pull towards the wagon. Not hard, but just light, yeah.
Can I look down at the wagon and see? Is it just James? Do I see the other person?
You see James and Melvin sitting out of the wagon being covered, of course, to avoid getting sand into your guys' goods these days. You can't see inside of it, but you can hear the light sounds of snoring. It's kind of drowned out amongst itself. There could be multiple figures in there. There could be one figure. You're unsure at this point with how many heads are in there.
If there's light snoring, I know the one that was sleeping was very heavily snoring.
Mm-hmm.
So there's another figure lightly snoring.
It just sounds like it's light snoring now. It's not as loud as it usually is.
Is he snoring quieter now?
Snar pokes his head over the cliffside down at you, James.
I look back as the Hydra. I'm guessing the Hydra, unless I actually go to listen to it now, has become white in voice.
Oh yeah, at
that
this
you
point,
can ignore.
As you kind of look over at him and suddenly realize, yeah, he's been snoring this entire time. It sounds like, I mean, it's gotten quieter as you've been moving about, but it's not by much.
A bit. Or they look up to Nark. Can we talk?
About?
You running off?
Uh-huh.
You
What about
okay?
it? Not until I get rid of the staff.
Well, about that, Melvin's benefactor would like to purchase it from you.
Okay.
You can negotiate with Melvin on the price, I do believe.
Sure.
Or talk to Melvin and his benefactor about it.
And I guess I'll come down.
Alright. As you climb down, Little Pip still on your shoulder, Little Pip smiles, saying hello, as Nar comes down the side of the cliff. You see the...
We narrowly avoided a dragon today. We narrowly avoided a gloom dragon, Little Pip. One hell of a time.
As you hear that, Nar...
Yeah.
Would you like to give me a search check to see if they're still being followed as you look out, I imagine, immediately to the dunes in the distance?
I'm willing. Is Little Pip also willing? Because he does have... between his intelligence and the benefits I gave him, he probably has an unholy search check.
It still uses base search check for what Little Pip's getting. I will base DC off of Little Pip's intelligence, so. This would be putting two and two together.
Oh, don't worry, I'm at one.
That's fine, Nar. You're not built to be... You've got bad vision, you're getting older, you know.
I got bad twice. A really high modifier on fucking Little Scarf.
Okay. As you kind of look on Nar, not for this in the search check. I'm lowering it because of the fact that I already know your intelligence score, so I already know what the DC is going to be set to. So as Little Scarf and Nar, as you look out, Little Pip rather. I didn't. Yeah. You two can settle on how you want to handle rolls on that in the background. As you two look out, you do see the almost what looks to be a large shadow that in the distance that seems to be sitting on top of one of the sand dunes. But it's so dark, it's hard to tell if it's an actual figure or if it's just a mirage of sorts. Seeing this gargantuan figure for a moment, just as quickly as you blink to take and try and literally look towards that direction, the figure disappears.
But after the search of me coming down, do I now see the person in the cart now that I'm not, above the covered cart?
As you look in the cart, yeah, James kind of looking over at you. I imagine Melvin kind of still looking back, watching for this creature. You do see a suddenly awoken tabaxi woman with bright purple eyes, kind of what looks to be a bit of whitish fur mixed with a bit of blonde in it. Her dress seems to be a bright green with a bit gemstones dotting throughout it. And as she looks out at you, almost kind of smiling as you kind of look inside the wagon, seeing her, she goes, "Oh, apologies. You must be bandits. My name's Gressa. Nice to meet you."
Nar's eyes widen when he hears Gressa. And he looks at James like he's a madman.
James is gonna look him straight up and go, "I can't be messed with by the like of them, so..."
We talked about this. They probably aren't under him.
She kind of looks at between the two of you and goes, "I'm sorry, am I missing something?"
Nothing... Well, something, but it's a bit of a question before we go too much further.
She looks up at Lil Pip as he says hi, and she goes, "Oh, nice to meet you, Lil Pip. My, name's Gressa Crump." She kind of looks at you and smiles, and as you go for her hand, she pulls it away almost immediately and goes, "I am spoken for. If you don't mind, I don't really. Also, I don't. It's nothing personal, but Deep Yang are not. They're kind of filthy." And she kind of looks at Nar.
It's not a DPN.
Sure. Uh-huh.
You never met a Heliavoli.
What's that?
The the race, the gods create them in whatever image the god exists in.
No.
They have a country, or I guess had a country, but now they have a dukedom.
I'm just more.
Over Rakek.
She shrugs and goes, "No, my father taught me that all races were lesser than the Rakshasa, that the Crumps were the top of our species, and that everything else was a servant." As she looks up at Little Scarf, kind of looking up, kind of commenting or whisper. Well, are you whispering that? Or are you saying it out loud in astonishment? I'm curious. He's full on crying. Okay.
Is she chaotic?
She is not.
Okay.
As Little
How
Scarf
common
goes,
is the name Gressa? I'm going to ask this out of character.
my heart breaks 1,000 times over, Madame, as he seems to start to slowly tear up, at that. James, as far as you know, you haven't heard this name before.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
I've
be
seen it
blunt.
once on a piece of paperwork.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be blunt as Nar. Just wanted to know if you knew a couple people. Just curious. Need to make sure before I do something stupid.
She nods and goes,
I
"Sure."
can pull up a little list. Someone named Ulk.
No.
The Goose.
Is that what's for dinner?
Nope. Jakix.
Sounds like a band.
Well, we have Gressa on the list, which is why I'm asking.
Great name.
Yeah, I'm sure. Blackbone Og.
That's motivating, by the way.
Yes.
See if she's lying.
Go ahead and roll. Which one are you seeing if she's lying on?
This isn't any of them.
Any of them.
Okay.
We got a long list to go through.
She doesn't seem to be lying. From what you can tell, James.
God damn it.
little
Little
Pip
Scarf,
is,
god damn it, do your
Little
job,
Pip's
sense motive.
eyes are too full of tears to sense motive right now.
I'll sense motive. I'm asking to see if she's lying anyway. Plus 12. That's not horrible.
Which one are you trying to see if she's lying on? Or is it the whole statement?
I guess just list. We're like one by one. I'm like looking up after each name.
Nothing she said seems to be untrue.
Would you want me to roll for if Gress is a common Rakshasa name? Because I've been here before. It's been a long
it'd be
time.
knowledge local.
I have knowledge local. Why not? Let's see. 19.
19. No, not in the slightest. It's an elven name, very common elven name. Not a very common name to give to a Rakshasa.
I kind of furrow my brows. I'm just like, all right. So why'd your parents name you Gressa? Usually names have some kind of meaning, at least in different cultures.
Oh, my father's got a business partner that he's really close to. He runs like half this country. He's got a bunch of shops, and so he does business with some, I don't know. He always told me she was some powerful sorceress from the ancient times, and that's why I was named after her.
That explains so much.
Father's a great businessman to be able to rub shoulders with guys like that, though.
Oh, Gressa, that Gressa's a fugitive. That explains so much.
She looks at you and goes, "Fugitive? I don't know what that means."
There are kings and leaders who want them dead.
I'm not stupid, I understand that. I mean, I don't know what you mean by calling them a fugitive.
They're part of a larger criminal enterprise that people are hunting.
Oh, it's just a little crime. Who's not out stealing these days?
Can I just pull out, because I believe it was on his bounty poster, the giant list of crimes on Jakix Morin's page, and this was from over a year and a half ago.
Yeah, yep. The stealing
I
of
just
souls.
lay out this list, keep unrolling and unrolling and unrolling.
Illegal magic reapings, trespassing with a weapon,
Kidnappings,
menacing.
These are the crimes of one of their members.
She kind of looks at it and goes, "Oh, my father's got a longer list than that."
That's okay. Alright. Now, see, you make me not know how to feel. I'm a law paladin.
I've never broken a law. My father is not me.
I'm not going to do anything to you, obviously.
Oh, okay. I mean, shoot, I was following the law until that gloom dragon decided to try and eat me.
First I meet Crump Senior, and he tries to mind control somebody.
Oh, he does that to everyone. Don't feel like that's a common thing. It's a side effect of my father's dealings. He's got a book he's writing that I personally think it's cursed, but it causes people to be charmed by you almost immediately. It's like a side effect.
Yeah. Is there a reason your father would have been in a cannibal town?
Probably biting slaves. Tara doesn't like doesn't like slaves being bought in her capital because she says it's uncool or something of the like, or uncouth. One of the words, I don't remember what she said specifically.
Then just for my own curiosity, why are the Crumps assisting in attacking the Rakshasa lands?
We are?
Yes.
That's news to me, but that does explain why my caravan got attacked and why those soldiers decided to kill my men and my brother and...
Yeah.
Huh.
From my understanding, your family was under house arrest, they escaped, and they're helping the fiends destroy the Rakshasa.
Escaped? We're literally left to go to our summer home in the north. What do you...
Yes, you weren't supposed to leave. You were being lawfully held.
News to me.
So I'm sorry to tell you, although unwittingly, you did break one law, but since I have no idea what the punishment of the law is, I'm not going to do anything, at least not currently.
Is it...
How does the inside of the... Or, since I'm guessing you've already been to the city, how is it looking?
Oh, it's completely surrounded. By not just an army, the probably most veteran army the Fiends have. I don't know how you're planning to get to the ship.
I don't think I can without possibly causing the shielding to go down.
I've got a dumb idea. She's like, as Gressa pipes up.
Which is?
Yep.
How do you feel about charging through at the risk of our lives and just going right through the portal? Or right through the shield?
Can we walk through the shield?
Sound suicidal?
I have my family's very good at specific kind of magic. I specialize in, unfortunately, the one thing none of my family likes. Really good at this thing called anti-magic. I learned it from a druid on how to harness it. Now I can make bubbles of it around me and basically walk through magic spells.
I mean, that helped with the barrier, but I don't know if we'll make it through alive through the army.
Not without finding a thin point or slipping through his merchants.
Oh, there was no thin point. At least not one thin enough for us to get through easily.
Yeah,
We do-
little Pip, give me a tumble check, and then a fortitude or a will save, please. Little Pip messaged me
I swear to
something.
God, he's
Does he need to know?
trying to steal his staff.
No, I think I already sent you. Did I send you Little Scarf saves, or did I have to pull it up? Because for his physical stats.
Also, Little Pip does whisper into your ear, or as he starts to cry and whimper, he does say, ignorance of the law does not excuse its breaking.
Okay, can I roll the punishment for unknowingly leaving a house arrest? It's really specific.
Hey, give me your profession lawyer.
This is such a specific crime. I wasn't leaving it because I wasn't going to do anything. I was leaving it because I had no idea what the punishment was. Plus 12, 27.
27? It depends. So that's the problem. In normal situations, it would just be like a fine brought back to the home as long as they're willing to return, if it was a misunderstanding. Yeah. They're still going to be fined for the misunderstanding, but they're not going to be like, beaten down and taken in. Problem is, if they're in charge of a coup, or an attempt of a coup, most countries kill the nobles and the entire family as punishment for such a thing. However, that depends on who wins the coup. And reasoning behind why they're coupping. Because if it's lawful, technically, you don't have you can't kill them by your own code. And as you don't currently know the situation, you could accidentally break the law by killing her or doing anything other than taking her into custody and bringing her back.
You can admonish her verbally.
By my own god, I have to wait until I know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, so from your own mentality as you think about this, best bet is to keep her on watch, like watching her, and just take her back as she's asking anyways, then let them settle up there. Alright, Little Pip, I'm gonna send you something.
Please never make me use tumble again.
And we will likely die if we do that.
Please never make me roll tumble again. I don't have a high mod because of my armor.
Right.
Good. I just rolled high.
Wait, no, that was supposed to be for Little Scarf.
I don't know. Wolf just said tumble is you. Tumble is...
Oh, yeah, he was saying he meant for Little Scarf because he didn't have a Little Scarf's tumble bonus.
Oh, yeah. Let me go. I'll switch the mod then. Let me go grab Little Scarf sheet.
Yeah.
I did that spell slot for the day.
Search, because I know Little Scarf has a higher tumble than I do. Sheet. Oh.
I think I misspelled that word, Wolf, but I think you at least understand what I'm trying to say on the class. I don't, yeah, I think I got that right, but...
Yeah, that'd be a 20 tumble.
20, okay. Succeeding easily as Little Pip kind of falls back, saying, or seems to be falling back, kind of crying as he falls down to the ground, landing like lightly on his back. You'd expect to hear a louder thump, but almost as if Little Scarf was expecting to hit the ground, seems to nicely tumble properly, catching himself, and as he does so, James and Melvin, are you looking back or just looking forward at this point?
I'd be looking at Nar at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd be still watching out for the dragon.
Okay. 1 sec. Okay. As you kind of see looking back, Melvin, you catch a glimpse for a moment. Little Pip's eyes flash almost a bright purple for a second. And as they do, looking up at the Tabaxi woman who's kind of looking about you lot as she's talking, Little Pip seems to then kind of drop his head back, and as his eyes seem to change back to normal color, as you're kind of watching Melvin still in the distance looking for any signs of this dragon coming.
Interesting.
Everything okay, little Pip?
Little Pip kind of seems to move around in the dirt for a moment before sitting back up. We will turn her into the proper authorities once we make it to the city. I saw that was Nars saying, okay.
No, Nars just thinking. That's why
Okay.
I did the little italics.
My apologies. I was double checking through it. All right. As Little Pip kind of lays there for a minute, Melvin, as you kind of watch him, he doesn't seem to move as he just stares up at the sky. Without immediate sense motive, it immediately comes to mind. You think he's contemplating his sadness at being called filthy.
Let's see.
He'll bounce back. Don't worry.
Tears streaming slightly out of his eyes as he just stares up at the starless sky.
Wait, starless?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As you look up, you don't see any stars in the sky.
Look, I'm waiting for the shoe to drop. No stars, no birds, no nothing, no noise.
There's a problem here.
Yeah, no shit. I've been waiting.
No roll them in anywhere.
Sense motive on myself, see if I'm in an illusion.
Out of curiosity, are there shadows?
As you look down, Melvin, your shadow does not show.
I would say, before anything happens, I do want to solidify, because I did in the background, the deal with Wolf to sell this fucking staff. We did come to a price agreement. I want this gone if something's gonna happen.
Little Pip, I would consider that from your own memories of this individual, if that is the same person, would be a caster level of equal to Zopip. All right. Everyone roll initiative, and for the surprise round, you're about to feel some pain. Because you watch as Little Pip dispels the illusion around Gressa, and she turns to her elven form with her full battle armor, weapons at her side as she has 2 swords, a glaive on her back, and a tower shield.
You can't just go away and stop following us?
Yeah, that's right. You don't. No, that's fair. You don't have memory of it. That's fully fair. So, if I'm understanding, Little Pip, if that's my understanding of it.
I think we're having a what's it called? What was the party that died to the gold dragons? I think we're having our that moment because our initiative.
Oh no. Okay, 12 for Nar.
No, 10 for Nar, 12 for Melvin.
I see.
Melvin got 12. James got an 8.
Do I need
Nar
to
has
roll?
10.
Do I need to roll little scars? Give me a second. What's his actual? Yeah. Will the other dice roll treat me better? It will. Little Scarf got a 22.
I'm gonna wait to make sure. I'm confirming something here to see if he is going to pop the illusion as he just stated. So, giving Wolf, you need to learn to type faster somehow. I know you're on your cell phone. Give him a minute. Yes. Yeah, okay, making sure. Yeah, so it is, okay, that you're gonna do it. Alright. Nope, it's going to hit that'll do it for everyone. So, okay, wanted to make sure. Yeah, then the illusion is broken. Because it's not a high level spell. You watch as this woman transforms behind your in front of your eyes. Let me roll her initiative for her dex bonus.
Please roll worse than us.
Oh, you're gonna really hate me because she's power leveled since last time you guys saw her.
I hate this.
Yep, you're about to hate it more. Oh my god, I rolled a nat 1. Fuck you, game. I still rolled better than most of you, but still.
Yeah, but what's your rules on nat 1 initiative?
It's not. It just counts whatever the number is. Doesn't matter.
Oh, but every other nat 1 matters. I see how it is.
Yep. Because initiative is based on when you're running. So.
Does it cancel out the surprise round?
Nope. Just means she rolled ass, and means that normally, but she's still faster on average than any of you, apparently.
Since I was watching out, would I get the chance to do anything before? Or...
Yeah, I'll give you a chance. That works for me.
All right. I would
then-
like to cast Obscuring Mist.
I do need little scarfs as well, if you wouldn't mind. Someone. Obscuring Mist. Okay.
I already did.
Oh, what's
I just
little
didn't roll
scarf?
it. I went to the other dice roller because I rolled like shit.
What is it? Where is it?
He got a 22.
Why don't I see it? Oh, are you in World Anvil?
No.
Wait.
I switched between World Anvil here and the Google Dice Roller.
No, okay, whatever. So what was the number again?
22.
22, okay.
He's the only one that out initiative Gressa.
Nice.
Little Pip, save us.
She's still getting her surprise round. Melvin, you're going with the Obscuring Mist, you said?
Yep.
Okay, and that gives you what? Boost your AC?
No, it creates a 20-foot radius around me, 20-foot high. It obscures all sight, including dark vision, beyond 5 feet. All creatures 5 feet away have concealment. Attacks have 20% miss chance. Farther away have total concealment, 50% miss chance. And
Okay.
the attacker cannot use sight to locate the target.
Oh, you bastard for that. Okay. Alright.
And then, depending on the wind, there's how long the round might go, but I will, I'll post that in the chat. So
Okay. No worries. As
Melvin, you saved us.
maybe.
Maybe. Don't say that until it happens, buddy.
Cause you're about to learn why that might not be the case.
Such a thin picture. Look at it.
Yeah, because I just screenshot the little section.
Super fucking thin.
Could have just copied the text. We got this little guy.
Yeah, I realized that.
Look at him. It's awesome.
I'm saving this picture as Thin Boy.
This is thin lad. He's a weapon.
There we go. Alright, let me get my bonuses. Okay, so I only go up to there. Don't worry, gentlemen. I can't just 9th level you to death like I did Monday. So if you have any solace in that, that's the thing you can be happy about. Let's see. Alright, so you said it's 50% for them in the area. Okay. Alright. Now she was sitting in the wagon, so Melvin and James, you are sitting in the driver's seat next to each other, right in front of her for reference.
So that would
with-
be 20% miss
Yeah,
chance. Then.
with Nar right to the right and Little Pip on the ground behind Nar, which would give him basically full cover. Okay, perfect. What does it say about AoE?
Let me look up concealment rules for AoE.
Because I believe there isn't anything specific. But since she's going to cast on herself a spell, she is going to immediately breathe out a wind of, let me find it. Here it is. What's the ruling for concealment, if you got it?
Most of it is for if the attacker misses, so I think they're for roll to hits. Not
Okay.
For...
So it is. So this is, since this is just in front of them, it's going to be everyone. Which
I do argue that although you put me there, I never said I got in the cart. I just looked in the cart.
I didn't say you were in the cart. I said you were off to the right of the cart, standing next to the driver's seat. That's why this is only going to hit Melvin and James.
Yay!
That's why I was specifying ahead of time so you guys could know where your placement was. That's all I was doing. Yeah, you're good. All right. As a gas begins to pour out, I need Melvin and James to give me fortitude saves. If you're immune to paralysis, this does not affect you.
How fortuitous are you feeling?
This is a spell, so I get a bonus.
It is.
Will
And it's fortitude save?
Well, no, it's not a spell. This is a breath. This is a breath attack.
Is it spell or spell-like effect for
Nope.
paralysis?
Nope, it's a breath attack.
Damn.
It is.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
So
Melvin
it's just a
done-
fortitude save.
Melvin failed. Yep.
I don't want to roll a D227.
Then type better? I don't know.
Damn you! Plus 10. All right. As
To
you,
fortitude saves? Yeah.
you succeed. It's not. It's the spell she cast on herself. I shouldn't specify what spell. As she is not, because she didn't move, and she is breathing this out. The spell is the spell on her is the effect is not for reference. It acts as
Doesn't
a
truly
breath.
matter at this point. James succeeded without it.
He did. I will roll. If you want to argue, go argue someone else or after the session. That is a 3. So Melvin, you are paralyzed for 3 rounds. As you breathe in the gas, feeling your body tighten. As it does so. James, as you begin to smell the thick gas kind of coming out of this creature's mouth, you immediately manage to shake it off, kind of shake your head and catch yourself as you feel your body tightening for a moment. As you begin to look back, you notice almost immediately Melvin is not moving. That ends her turn, and that ends her surprise round. Little Scarf, technically you're on your butt, so you are prone, but you do have full cover. You are part of the surprise round for this, because she wasn't expecting you to do this, so did you want to do anything? A beholder does breathe. Well, they can be affected by breath weapons. No worries as you look at a spell for a moment. Recording.
You said she was also wearing metal?
You shoot out, or you watch as Little Pip shoots out these rays of light almost out of his fingers that seem to glimmer only off of the campfire that you had set up above, being the only thing that kind of makes them visible. Go ahead and make your ranged touch attack. She is wearing a green. Without the illusion, she is wearing leather armor with 2 bladed weapons on her hips, as well as a staff and a glaive, a staff, and a tower shield on her back.
Are those blades metal?
They're in their scabbards. You can't tell right now.
Isn't pull them out yet. I don't know. Could be ironwood.
You know. Actually, well, that doesn't hit, surprisingly. No, I'm kidding. Jesus Christ. If the day that doesn't hit, you guys should be scared out of your mind. Yeah, that hits. Let me see. Is that damage, or is it... Oh, no. Alright. Oh, that's great. That's actually kind of funny. Let me, as you watch these rays kind of envelop around the figure, almost like creating a coating of a glimmer of light of armor, like mage armor for a moment, all of you watch as she starts to glimmer for a moment, and as you do so, she seems to smile at Little Pip. As this goes, she pulls out, or never mind. Disregard. Alright, because I forgot, that's the surprise round. Alright, a Little Scarf, as you put, or as you get this ray, this glimmering light field around her, the rest of you watch as the gemstones on her sword seem to lose their glow to them. Her tower shield seems to almost cause her body to slightly lower a little bit, as it seems to suddenly grow in size a little more. Yeah, I didn't do it. Don't worry. And as we go into the initiative, we jump on Little Pip first. All right, as she now looks to be in this glimmer of almost like mage armor. Little Pip, you are still prone on your back. Tears still slightly coming out of your eyes. As we start the initiative for you. Are you going to do anything else, or are you just going to, oh, you're typing them right, I see. I had to jump back into my PMs.
Get him good.
Give Lil Pip a second to You could
He's
teleport
gonna
one of your
break my
teammates.
wagon.
Teleporting the cart to... You do know the cart is, from the ship, for reference, is still like half a day's journey. Like, you're pretty far as distance. I mean, I don't believe you can't teleport that far. I'm just asking. To clarify, for my own notes, yeah, okay. Everything in the cart as well, or just the cart? Because I don't want to be yelled at later for this. I want to make sure that I have this clear, because everyone gave me shit in the last campaign.
I'm gonna have a 1v1 with this bitch. God damn it.
So, I want to specify the everything inside of the cart, including people, or are we saying just the cart? It's just the cart and its contents, no people, unfortunately. Okay. You watch as James, Melvin, and her, we're going to all do reflex saves. We'll say DC 10. Make it easy for it to not get knocked on your butt for prone.
As the cart vanishes,
Do I get a bonus since I don't technically have to stand?
Oh, yeah, you don't have to save at all because you levitate. Never mind.
Cool.
Well, wait, what about the Sleeping Hydra?
The Sleeping Hydra is going to fail automatically because he's asleep.
He's asleep.
So,
This is a spell. This is the effect of a spell. Do I get a bonus?
Yes. Also, yeah. +6 on that, okay.
It's great, because that puts my
Oh no,
3
man,
to a
spell's
5.
not
I still
hitting you.
fail.
I don't know, man. They're just vanishing a cart and
Alright.
laying.
James still lands on his ass and is knocked prone, so you are prone now.
How high up is the 2 seats of the cart to the ground?
About 10 feet off the ground, I'd say, because it's supposed to be built for a medium creature, so...
I just look down at James on the ground, still floating 10 feet in the air.
You see the heavy mist between you and James, and just see a bit of cloud of dust kind of pick up into it, and can kind of see the wisps of James's hair sticking up.
Well, no, I have my helmet on, so...
Oh, that's right, never mind. Yep, you'd have your helmet on. Yep, so as everyone kind of drops to the ground, let me roll a fortitude save for the creature. Alright, he is still asleep. Alright, as the cart disappears, now little Scarf, or little Pip, you haven't moved as you make them. Now they are not prone as far as this goes. Or no, they succeeded, sorry. The Aggressa succeeded. Second action. Alright, fuck you. Fine. Oh, wait, are you also taking, I assume also the mount, because you don't, the mounted creature, or the creature that would have been holding the cart? Or are you leaving the Sandwolf behind? Just to see, because the party does have a Sandwolf pulling their cart. Okay. Alright. As all of you but Gressa find yourself suddenly, kind of with a blank of light around you, you find yourself sitting on the ship next to the cart. It's just sitting there. The rest of your crew kind of hanging out, a few of them playing cards on the top deck as you suddenly appear out of nowhere. The town around you suddenly expands. You're back in Mana's Grove. A little bit outside of the city just to allow your ship to park, but you can see the guards down below and a couple of the guards standing by the helm in full plate. As well as you look over the ship, you can see the army of proto-fiends and like different types of fiends, scattered throughout and around the city, while a glimmering barrier looks to almost every once in a while catch the moonlight. You do start to see stars now all about the sky.
Huh.
No worries on that. Yeah, I mean, you didn't know as far as the creature on that. But yeah, you are all teleported, leaving her behind. And in the distance, the last thing you hear is a curse in Toth speak as she sees you guys vanish in front of her.
We may want to warn the Yaw to...
Seeing a little Pip kind of lean over into Nar's ear and go, she fucking sucked, man. I hate her.
I want to look at James and go, no. She threatened to kill us if we came back into her capital. We need to go.
Well, the guards are at the helm. I assume we're going to be asking them to leave as we leave. And leaving a notice for her that there was a high caster out there that can use anti-magic.
I'm willing to bet she already knows and is preparing.
You watch as one of the as you guys appear and kind of look over at the guards. You see the two giants kind of standing, kind of sitting at the back. almost immediately seeing you looking over at the guards at the helm, and they seem to walk over, one grabbing a club, the other seems to kind of start to lean his fist back, getting ready to almost look like he's going to punch the guy. As the one club swings and knocks out the guard, the other guard still standing looks back and easily dodges the first swing. As the creature seems to.
Are these frost giants?
These are your own personal clan Roughblood, the ogres. As the second backhand connects, knocking unconscious the guard. Both, as you recognize now, Ur and Nell, the youngest of the four, kind of look at you and smile and wave as they kind of throw the guards overboard.
Excellent.
As little Pip goes to wake up Hydrathian, he kind of shaking him awake, firebolting him. Give me a minute. Let's see. With his bonus, he is
Little
still
Pip,
sleeping.
I only ask that you explain that this is my ship, and he's to be respectful on it.
He is still snoring, even though now his pants are slightly on fire.
We can dangle him off the side.
The rest of your crew begins to go about pulling in the gangplank as guards start to kind of like try and get on quickly. Unsheathing the sails, and then almost immediately as you look kind of get ready to take the helm, you see as over comes the sorry, I'm looking up my names here. Oh, they left. Never mind. I forgot about that. Never mind.
Fair,
Disregard. Yeah.
I just wanted you to make sure he would be respectful, and I was saying hang him over the side to wake him up, not to harm him. The wind rushing can do that.
I forgot they fully left, and they are. Nada looks over at you and kind of looking at the rest of the crew and looks back at you and goes, Captain, do you have a plan for how to get past the giant anti-magic shield that's keeping everyone inside the city?
Has it deactivated the portal?
Well, the portal for the ships has been deactivated since this morning, at the request of the Jah. Do you have a plan on how to reactivate that? We gonna try and bribe the guard that sits there? We gonna just try and, I don't know, tiptoe our way through the personal one down by the merchant guild? What's the plan? She kind of swaddles Nadolf in her hands.
I'm looking over at Nar, because I'm gonna have to skirt. If we deactivate their shield, we will have caused an invasion.
I'm just staring at James, waiting.
Bribery is illegal, I can't do that.
We could legally go ask if we can use the merchant portal.
Well, we have to get the ship through.
The guards
If
down
you'd
below
like-
still yelling.
If you'd like me to go see the size of it and see if they would allow us.
That would be amazing, Nar.
Okay.
Convince the guards down there to leave us the fuck alone, if you could, too.
Yeah, how many guards are there?
You see now 3. One of the ones that was knocked unconscious seems to have gotten back up and seems to be like trying to climb the side of the ship and failing as he slides down.
Stay down. As I look down at him.
The
We're trying to
guards
leave.
pull their glaives and they go, "You're under arrest for treason against the crown."
We were told to get our ship and leave.
Why haven't you left yet? We put your people under arrest and they are to stay here. You are to leave.
Can't leave without my ship and my people.
Then you're to be taken to the Jah herself and executed immediately.
I was told to take my ship and leave.
The guard is going to
Do
make
the-
a climb
Do the rock
check.
shots-
Hello. Hi. Are they Rakshasas?
They are, as they look up.
Close their eyes.
Incredible. So they're fiends.
Purple. As one starts to climb up, get about two climbs up or 2 pulls up, you start to see as his armor starts to scratch against the side of the ship as he starts to pull down.
I do have a law question.
Mhm.
Does Terracitus have a very specific law about knocking people out?
No.
Beautiful. Give me a minute, guys.
Oh no.
What about
Subdue.
reporting people?
Teleporting? No. I mean, there's not many.
Deporting.
I mean, her own guards. I think that'd be kind of taken offensively.
Right,
But is
but
there a law against it?
there are a law against.
I mean, you're going against her troops. That would be basically like declaring war on her.
No,
So
I'm not going against anybody.
But is it a law?
I mean,
I'm not
it's an
going
act of
against
an act of
anybody.
war, which would be basically. I mean, technically is against
What
the
is an
law.
act of war? Tell me what's an act of war.
Any offense against her troops or her family, or her nation.
Yeah, and what's an offense defined as? Legally?
Teleporting her soldiers in the middle of nowhere with no water or food is really no chance to survive.
Well, that's not what I'm doing.
You don't know of any other towns in the area, though, and there's an army outside the walls.
I'm not teleporting them.
Well, you're deporting them, as I would guess that would involve
Yes.
teleporting.
Sending them home.
I think
Your house with you.
you are getting involved. You're getting in the way of an investigation and an arrest. I mean, that's
What
an illegal.
investigation?
They stated that the crew was under arrest. They can't leave.
I
So
didn't
you
hear
are
that.
breaking the law by
Make
leaving.
them prove that I did.
You did. They shouted it out loud. You're on
cannot
the
hear.
ship.
I'm actually deaf.
Yeah, you
And they
wish.
can't prove otherwise.
Unfortunately, that's not how that works.
Legally, they can't prove otherwise.
But no, see, that it doesn't matter if they can. It's your God is you're looking down on you. You can.
My God.
Well, this body's God.
Yeah.
Which, unless you really want to lose your deal, I don't think you want to push right now. Because that is the one thing about Little Scarf.
So he gets to knock these guys out, but I don't get to banish them.
I mean, technically what he's doing is also illegal. Because he is, again, interfering in in an investigation to arrest these people. So, unless he's got some way of defending it, I mean...
Are they trying to arrest my people? That she
Yes.
said she would.
Well, the people of the crew. That is
Yeah,
for
under
you
what-
to defer on you think they mean, because they didn't specify which members of your crew. They just said your crew.
You should have called. Which ones are you trying to take?
They look up amongst them and go, all of them? Like we were given orders to keep the ship on the ground with the crew here.
You're gonna break the Jaws promise?
You see the kind of like
Seems
talk
pretty unlawful
amongst
to
each
me.
other.
Why don't you go send someone to go check with her to ensure that we're supposed to leave?
She said the people of my God would be allowed to go. You can't take them all.
Wait. No, we're not supposed to take any holy men. That's confirmed. Any members of your
We're all
church that
holy
are
men.
recognized are not allowed to be taken.
The man said we're all holy men.
If that's the case, we need to have you all swear it on your God.
Under the light of God. The Christian God.
No, shut up.
Oh my God.
That's much crueler. I'm not that evil. I don't kill innocent children in the name of some random dude who died years ago, alright? That's just
Well,
horrible.
most are, right?
Yeah, but this is different times. It wasn't then. But as you kind of take a second saying this, he looks up and goes, if they're willing to swear to the same God, and the holy man here is willing to say that they are all converts and are active followers, we will allow them to leave. But if that is not the case, they are not allowed to leave.
Alright, give me a minute. I'm gonna go talk to the crew.
Nor would
You're not
already
gonna
know
convert one
there
person.
is one cleric amongst this group that you know for a fact you would be dead before you're going to see him convert.
No, but he said he won't arrest no holy man. I don't have to convert him.
That's true.
He's
That's-
already
That is true. Anyone
He's
who
already a holy
worships
man. Why
any
would I
sort of
convert him?
God.
I'm a holy man too, technically.
I gotta go convert all the other people. I'm gonna go talk to him about options.
You can give me a
Melvin's
diplomacy.
got a good option for him too.
I was gonna say, you can both give me diplomacy checks, but you've got, as far as it goes, face the doppelganger, Nadolf the baby, Nada, his mother, who is
Nana's already one of my followers.
Not a holy woman.
technically, yeah, that's true.
True. With
the
39 diplomacy.
4 ogres, and then
I'll go see who I can convert.
the unfortunate Uldren, who you don't know where they are.
Well,
Uldren's not on the
ship. They did say anybody. They're arresting people who are part of the crew. They said everyone in the crew. The baby's not part of the crew. It's a
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is. No, James recognized them. James,
No, he's a passenger. His mom's a part of the crew, but she's a holy woman.
you gave them their freedom and brought them in and had them
Alright.
sign a contract
I
as members
told
of the
her she-
crew.
Now,
The
hold
baby
on.
can't sign a
Is the
contract.
baby legally allowed to sign of
Is
its
the
own
baby allowed
volition?
to sign a contract?
I mean, technically, any being of any age can sign a contract as long as it understands the
Okay.
terms.
Either way, I rolled
Does
a
it?
diplomacy
Did the baby
conversion.
understand the
I
terms?
never said
of
the baby signed the
contract?
contract. I'm
Then it's not
stating,
part of the-
I'm stating that Nada signed on with James's crew and was recognized as a member, which, while
Right.
under Nadolf being born on the ship, has not yet left. Theoretically, Nadolf is still part of the crew.
Okay, but he's his own entity legally.
Arguably.
That is a separate.
Legally, I have not hired on an infant. At most, this is a family. This is me allowing a person to have their family on board, so they don't have to be separated. Which is, as an employer,
Listen,
allowed.
Regardless, you
In
still
a
have.
situation where we
Regardless,
legally
moving on.
haggle, we're gonna legally haggle.
Yeah, I got you. I'm moving from the subject because that's not the hard part. Point still being, you've got Face, you've got the 4 clan members of the clan Roughblood, the ogres, and then Uldren, assuming he's on the ship.
I'll go see if I can convert the 4 clan members, I guess.
And Melvin's planning something in the background. Oh no.
I was gonna say, Melvin
25
might
to
be rough
convert
to,
the clan members.
For the diplomacy, Nar, what are you pitching?
So once I've gathered most of the non-religious crew specifically, and I'm slowly telling the people that are holy men, like, hey, even if you're listening, this pitch is not for you, you're already holy men, so please do not take offense, right? I'm making sure
Okay.
that they know, because I really don't want to be stabbed.
No, yeah, go. You're good.
We have a bit of a problem with leaving. They're going to arrest anyone that's not a holy man or religion or tied to a god in some way. The only legal avenue I can think of on short notice is conversion. But I have to swear my gods, it has to be real. So I'm giving anyone that doesn't want to be arrested an option to convert so we can leave.
You can worship what I worship. You can worship what he worships. Doesn't matter.
Melvin, what's your pitch?
I mean, also question about Aldrin. Wasn't he linked to Zebril?
He was, yeah.
No.
Oh, no. Uldren is linked to Utham.
Children's with people, yeah.
Mhm.
Any of them that seemed uninterested, I would offer. And I can also roll a diplomacy, but
Yeah.
it will go about as well as I would expect the situation to go.
Nar got a 39. I got a 25. I'm proud
I
of
really,
this.
really couldn't roll higher. I got a bad point.
I rolled a 0.
Oh, God.
Go ahead. What's your pitch, Melvin?
Well, you know,
I can also have you worship this weird dragon.
Let him do it.
I have a being that that you could also worship. You know, the group, they really work as one, and you know, it's a nice place to be.
You see almost immediately, like, a couple of them looking amongst themselves, shaking their head at the comment from Melvin. A few of the ogres kind of look over towards James, and you hear the oldest, Krark, kind of speak up and go, "I don't like you small men. The one with big sword's impressive. We don't follow gods here." And as he looks about,
Well,
you
I
see
technically don't worship a god.
Kruk kind
I
of
still am a holy man.
looks about you and goes, "No, your god's weak. You run from Grandma."
She also had a big spoon and was shoving me into soup, but I worship
Nor-
magic and war.
Nora's looking around like, Grandma? What?
Looks over and the ogre looks over at Nar and goes, "Won't swear to God, but we'll swear to be holy. Everyone believe in something."
I mean, as long as you're tied to something and you're technically a holy man, you can get out of this.
He kind of looks around and picks up a pot off the ground, takes his belt off as his pants start to kind of sag a little bit more, ties the pan on, like a loop in the pan into a knot, puts another knot the other end of it to kind of make sure the thing will hold as a necklace, pushes his thumbnail into, or his thumb with his nail into it just hard enough to make it look like a little, like a mountain, and goes, "Try not know what is, but it looked like religion."
Worship the mountain. Sounds good to me.
Good enough for me. Yeah. Holy man to the mountain or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
You do see Uldren kind of perks up at that and goes, as you see him sitting on one of the kind of barracks beds, and looks up and goes, "If I may ask, what is your god benefit, Mr. Nar?" "No, I'm Uldren, by the way. I work under James as the intelligence." As he kind of gives a light salute to you.
Melvin gives a strange-looking smile when he sees Aldrin.
Well,
Mostly strange because he doesn't know how these mounts work.
the benefit very depends on what you're looking for, I suppose. Some of the crafters got a bit better at crafting, as far as I know. I get powers that you've seen. Holy powers, holy sword. My god doesn't really ask me to do anything specific.
I think I'll keep my beliefs in. I've got myself a nice golden tooth. I think that'll work.
That works.
The only other one that you look about as you kind of look amongst the group is Face, the cloaked humanoid that's never shown their actual face, always wearing a white mask that seems to almost kind of cover their entire face. Though you do see the emotions somewhat as the mouth turns up and down to show happiness and sadness. The eyes do look slightly like they're crossed as you kind of get a look at them, but Face kind of speaks up with a bit of a giggle and goes, "I wouldn't worship a god. They're too easy to kill."
What?
He kind of giggles and goes, "Oh, it's fine. Here, I'll pretend I'm some holy man that can't speak to his beliefs." No, you feel a chill down your spine for a moment.
Alright, then you have to go convince them first, because if I swear that everyone on the ship is a holy man, and you're not, because you said pretend, I will be punished.
Oh, you want me to convince? Sure. As he kind of like starts
You have to
getting
go
up
convince
and
them that you are a holy man. Just you.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Kind of walks up the stairs as you hear, and you can give me a listen check for those who are trying to hear what he says over the shit.
Oh, I'm definitely listening to Face, because if he gets arrested, it's no get off my nose, but I'll feel
I
bad.
reached into Little Pip's bag and I plugged my own ears.
Okay.
I did well on my diplomacy for once, but now I can't listen for shit.
James and Anar, you don't hear anything. I'm gonna deafen you for a moment.
Good.
Melvin, you hear him speak down and go, "I serve the great Cataclysm as her chosen champion.
God.
Please do recognize that these people are under my protection at all times and that I'll wipe out this entire fucking city if you don't do as I ask." And you can hear the screams of the guards as they start running at this sound of this. I'm going to bring them back. Alright, welcome back. Little Scarf got to hear it because of Zilpip's amazing arcane hearing that he cast in the background, so that's why he didn't have to roll. He has his own custom spell, so For the rest of you, as you see Melvin, I imagine just kind of going from that awkward, weird-looking smile to paler.
I have no words right now.
Melvin's just backing away, fucking mouth open, just eyes bulging out, fear clear on his face. As you hear Little Pip kind of running up there, yelling, yeah, fuckers, run. The guards, you suddenly catch Nar and James screaming as they're running away. As Face comes down and goes, good news, they think we're all holy men of your god. As he looks at you, Nar, as you still can't hear him, still having the cotton in your, or the plugs in your ears.
I'll pull them out and
What
say,
did you do, Face?
I
might
don't
ask.
make eye contact with them. I just look down at the ground.
He just looks over at Melvin and just looks up, kind of tilts his head and goes, did you see a ghost? As he giggles, really high-pitched, like kids giggle.
Something like that.
Oh, well, you shouldn't tell ghost stories. That'd be really unfortunate. I hear ghost stories come true then. As he gives a smile as his mask, and the mask shifts to up.
Face, I might have a job for you and Ultra to go do together.
I'm bad at jobs outside, but I'm really good at cooking now.
I think you might find this job to be fun.
I'm not
I'll
interested.
talk to you about it later.
I'm good.
Okay.
And it goes back to sitting on his chair as he kind of seems to keep staring at Melvin.
I have a feeling I know where our mole is, or her
Really?
leak, for information.
I mean, that was my immediate guess was Face. Yeah.
As you kind of walk up above deck, you see James, Melvin, Nar, and Little Pip. Well, Little Pip already being up there. There is a battalion of heavy armed men coming in this direction. You'd guess, as you count, roughly about 60, 70 soldiers, all in full plate. Roughly heading down the main street from the stronghold towards what looks to be towards you.
Lifting off.
Can we
Where?
leave?
Time to leave.
Is the
Nar,
barrier?
can you drive?
I can, but into what? Into the barrier?
As Narda looks up and you see his face kind of comes up and goes, oh, good news, Uldren took care of that. We can, if you want to go up, we can.
All right, I guess I'm driving.
Face kind of heads back down and you see as Uldren comes up, looking at you lot, kind of waiting as you get behind the helm. Give me a use magic device.
Purely because of charisma, because I have no ranks. 25.
So the ship starts going up and up and up. You lot get closer and closer to the barrier. It's still glimmering as you get within 10 feet, then 5 feet, then 2, then a foot, as Uldren seems to smile at you and snap his fingers right as the top of the ship mast would have normally hit, and the entire thing goes down as the two armies start attacking each other. And Uldren just smiles over at you, Nar and James, as he goes, and now I've done my job.
Nar is looking in horror at what just happened.
James looked pissed.
He kind of looks about and goes, what? You told me to disable the barrier.
I really was trying to avoid doing that.
So many people are gonna die.
Oh, no. Jean knew we were doing that I was going to do this. I made it clear. That's why the city's been evacuated of all of its citizens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no.
All right,
I'm not
come on.
Listen, I'm a horrible person. Not that kind of
Hey.
horrible.
You know what? You want to give them a little hand, Nar? You still have that one firebomb as we leave.
I was, well,
You want to
beans
get...
are kind
Uldren looks
hold
at
on.
you for a moment and goes,
James
you...
is saying the
Yeah?
one firebomb you know I'm talking about.
I was gonna say, I want to look for the biggest fiend on the field. Hold on.
Roll me a search check.
I have an item I still have to use. 29.
As you look about, there's none that kind of stick out. These troops look to be a mixture. There doesn't seem to be a commander, as that's one of the things that you kind of catch. They're moving independently. As if,
That's
like,
fine.
each individual is here independently. There's no squad combat. But
Do I see a decent-sized fiend that I think is fire immune?
No. All of them look to be a mix of either incubi, succubi, and obsidian devils.
What CR is an obsidian devil?
Let me pull up. I believe it's like 7 or 8, but let me double check.
6.
Is it 6?
It is 6.
Yes.
Yeah, it's 6.
Yep. You see a mix of coal devils, not obsidian. My apologies. Coal devils. Yeah, I have, because I've got it in my notes. I was trying to get the fucking link to post or to go over. Yeah, you do see it. These are all look to be coal devils down below, mixed in with incubi, succubi, and what look to be tall and like not large but medium-sized, roughly about 5-ish feet, looking imp-like creatures.
I want to hit a coal devil.
All right. Roll just a base attack plus your d20.
Fuck it.
15.
And are you doing
plus-
a barrel or are you doing the little bottle?
This is the blue bottle.
Oh no.
This is a 20.
A 20 to hit?
Yep.
All right.
Is AC 5, so I'm just hitting the square they're in.
I'm gonna roll something. Okay. Alright. As this drops, this is the one with the little black rock in it, right?
No.
No, that's never mind. That's the lyrium one. I was
No.
thinking, okay, good. No
The blue
worries.
alpha fire.
Yeah. As this drops, as you drop this vial down, are you just dropping the vial, or are you pouring it out?
I'm assuming it's like a fire where you're supposed to throw it. Because does it look like?
That's what I'm asking you. It's a vial.
If it looks like kind of ball is supposed to break on impact, yeah. But if it's just a normal ass vial,
it looks just
yeah,
like a
I'll
normal.
throw it anyway.
Okay.
We're very high up. It's gonna break.
Yeah, as it goes flying down, it slams into one of the coal devils, and as it does so, you watch as it begins to scorch across the entire battlefield, expanding out for almost a mile, as this blue flame begins to emblazon and burn the sand into a solid glass, causing the army not only to get catch on fire on both sides, but also to start slipping and sliding and falling on each other as the glass seems to have no traction. Screams of pain as the scorching begins and the smell of burning flesh can be picked up. Melvin, the smell being very familiar at this point, as both sides begin to get burnt and kind of catch themselves aflame. The fire continues to grow and grow.
Thank all that is holy that I was asked to do that by an authority figure of the city. So it's lawful.
I will say it is, the screams down below are horrendous as you are watching people, like the soldiers begin to turn to nothing but solid statues of burnt husks and then crumble away to dust.
He wanted me to throw that when I was within throwing distance on the floor.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god!
For reference, that did 600 points of damage. And I rolled kind of high on that, to be fair.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Men, I win today.
As
I
you
think that's a lot of experience gained.
kind of watch the army burn below, taking off, heading... What's the heading you're taking?
Is it dwarven time?
Let's go handle the dwarves first, yeah.
Alright, as you head west, continuing on your way. Noting as you take a second to look about, you see as the ship kind of starts to tilt upwards, and you hear from down the below, Rollman kind of coming up and complain, go, "Who the hell stealing our ship?" As you see his head kind of pop out, him just seemingly
Hi,
waking up
Rollman,
from a nap.
we're leaving.
As he seems
Am I a
to
thief?
see you and look up at you and give a quick smile, and that's where we'll end session today. We thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed,
I'm leaving.
and we will see you next time.